consider it too. That's what you think about it. The day when them people heard Yahuwah's word, it hardened their heart. Isn't that right? That put them into provocation at that point. Isn't that right? He said when they tempted me in Bamarbah, he said they saw my words for 40 years. So wherefore I will agree with that Tuladar. He said, and I swore in my wrath, they should not enter in my rest. I said, boy, I don't ever want that man to have that against me. Isn't that right? I spent 54 years. I hate for the man that said, son, right now you're in derision. I swear you ain't going to ever enter in my rest. My goal is to make it in Mr. Yahuwah's rest. And it's my expectation that's everybody's mind. That we come across, we hear the word at that time for examination. Isn't that right? Self-examination. See where you at. I know a lot of times it look like we had to peel off them levels, layers rather. It's kind of embarrassing, almost shameful to you when you look at the way we've been living and how long we've been going in the wrong direction. But at the end of the day, it's for our betterment that he catch us and he correct us on this side before we go on the other side. And the thing about it, whether people want to accept it or not, you're going to get chastised on this side or the other side. I take my chastising on this side. Because the chastisement you're going to get on the other side ain't going to be as a cruel one. Ain't that right? It's going to be the chastisement of a cruel one on the other side. Ain't that right? You think right now you can pull out to him and ask the man to have recalm on you. Ain't that right? What they'll call mercy. Ain't that right? Ask the man for conceding, for favor. Well, he cast you out in the marsh pot, which is the judgment, and he sentenced you to Sheol. He won't have nothing for you then. Ain't that right? All you're going to get is that man wrath, his vengeance, and his indignation. So on this side, we got opportunity to make sure we get this thing right. Y'all got it? Okay. Well, I appreciate it. Looked on the news, ain't that going? Same people killing the same people. Russia trying to settle. These folks don't know when the Christmas is. They said, in actuality, they said, really, the Orthodox said Christmas is actually July the 7th. What's the day, the 6th, 7th? Yeah, it started yesterday. See, these people don't know what that's the actual time. The Orthodox creed, they actually got more than one time period. Everybody who did it December 25th, they say you off. So you probably did it January the 5th or 6th or whatever. They're for 3 days now. The ones on here got 2 days. Russia said 3 days. They can't get it right. Everybody got a little white boy with a mama with that little skinny nose. That's the same old stuff, same old lie. People ain't getting no better. At the end of the day, you got to sit down and start considering what did the man leave for us. That's why we get a chance to go through the book and start to examine and see exactly where we at. And I really, you call, which expect that everybody's really looking at your life, really considering where you're at, and really kind of adding up the cost of what it takes for you to be saved. Because believe it or not, it's something everybody can obtain, but it's something everybody won't do, and that's scary. The fact that you see people, and I know when you're going through and you start looking at what you got to resist. I mean, for people, we got people married, separated from their spouses, single people holding out, married people that's going through and suffering, you know, financial or other things they're dealing with, or even some might be with their health. And you look at all these people out here and you look at, man, a lot of these people don't have a care in the world. That's a lie. Everybody going through something. Everybody suffering something. People just learn how to mask it and look at though everything okay. Everything's not okay. It's affliction on you. It's trouble on you. You thinking and you considering. People are too. They just mask it with alcohol. They mask it with going to the club. They mask it with getting drunk or whatever it is that they do. At the end of the day, we start to sit back and to consider, you know, we just come back to be realistic and realize I don't want to keep tossing through my bed at night and wondering in fear of burning. You know, you have to start making some adjustment. They consider it. Don't make no mistake. They consider when they go to funerals. That's why they go to funeral. They want to have it uplifted. You know, I want you don't want to feel bad. Give them a homecoming. They want to feel better. Because when they sit there and look at that casket, that's reality. It's just a matter of time. They'll be crossing by that same way. Most of the almost everybody you see in that casket, they've been to a funeral too. And you know what they did? They had time to do the same thing everybody else doing now. Consider your time coming. Your days are numbered. Your time is cut short. Your steps getting shorter. Don't let these people make no fool out. They're afraid. They just mask it with other stuff. Like I said, the parties, the whole charade, going out, hanging out, doing stuff, getting on social, whatever they got to do to try to escape it. How you escape it? Because reality got to come back to your mind. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, when you come into reality, you start to consider. It's just things he lets you see, and you just look and you say, that could have been me. He do. I've seen a lot of stuff. You look at it, you start to think. I remember when I went to the club, that when I was a fool too. I remember they had a club down on Bankhead. Can't remember it called a Fox Hunt, I think it was. It used to be off a bank here. Silver Fall, that's what it was. That's the first place I learned you could piss at the bar. I was sitting at the bar. I had a part. I was sitting at the bar. I was sitting up there. I was getting ready to go. He said, where you going? I said, I go to the bathroom. He said, for what? I said, I got to pee. He said, man, pee right here. I said, at the bar. He said, I've been doing it all night. He said, you got me going to lose your seat. Man, I peed so much at that bar. I was steady drinking and peeing. Man, I was just laughing. I remember pulling up at the bar, man. I remember pulling up at the club, and somebody be in the street dead. Had to, yeah, people, yeah, man was rough. Silver Fall was rough. He remember that? Listen, Silver Fall was rough. You pull up, man, somebody be in the street dead. Had to wait on the police ambulance to get him out the street. Go right on in the club. You know how bad our mind was? That's enough. I mean, you high, you drink, you laugh, and you see him, somebody in the street dead. You got to wait on the police now and wait on the ambulance to get these people out the street so we can park and go in the club. Mind you, they got killed at the club. Club don't shut down. We still doing it because they got shot outside. You know how bad our mind was? Usually stuff like that, they say, blow your high. Make you say, you know what, man, that's a sign. So I just think about I remember one time I was at a club. My mama went to that club, the Brotherhood. You remember going to that club, the Brotherhood? Yeah, don't try to act like it. Man, I went to clubs my mama went to. So you know it was a brick in the wall. I remember coming out that club, I was pushing, I was trying to get out the door, I was ready to go. If people was in the way, I'm trying to get out the way. By the time I got almost up there, that guy got shot right up at the front. That joker he died. That joker looked, I was the last person he looked. That man looked at me, his eyes just rolled back up in their head. I was like, man, I just seen somebody die right here. I'm about 15. So I was old enough, you know, kind of handling everything. So we just go with that story. But anyway, you know, you sit here and you look at all these things, and now I go back over my life with a lot of stuff that I narrowly escaped and consider. All those were warnings. I just didn't heed them. Didn't realize, had I pushed through just a little bit faster, that bullet could have been me. You know what I'm saying? I could have got there a little bit early at the Silver Fall. That could have been me. But you know what? At the time, you don't register stuff to realize why you think you're this close to it. A lot of people don't realize why you think you keep popping up. And, you know, people say, man, if I'd have been a little earlier or something else have I been a little later. And the whole time me keep trying to let us become conscious to realize this could be you. You right there. It ain't like you was on the other side of town when it happened. It ain't like you were out of town or at home. You were right here when this happened. To let you know, this could be you. I'm trying to warn you the whole time. But you know what? We get so driven with trying to make up a life. And I look at, man, I pretended so much, it's ridiculous. I did. You just make up. I say you can't be, all the people I would call my best friend back then, we didn't have no real true conversations. We didn't really talk about things really like how you really feel about yourself. You know what I'm saying? You talk about girls, you talk about going out, we fight, all this stuff, or drinking or smoking. We didn't have no real talks about nothing like that. If people had any fears that people were scared, you never had it. I remember we driving, going to stuff, people wouldn't have nothing to say. You wouldn't say nothing. I know what I was thinking about. I said, I wanted at the time I'm going to get killed out here. But you couldn't tell nobody that. Because people felt, but we came along, that's janky. You can have that conversation. You just riding, you just going. Nobody talking. You just going the way you got to go. And you just sit here. For me, I always wondering, if at this time I'm going to wind up getting killed. Nobody say nothing to nobody. Everybody just riding. Everybody, we just riding. We just going. Just no conversation about nothing. Everybody just, and you know, no doubt they had to be thinking in their mind too. But who you had a conversation with? Somebody could have started a conversation. What if we go to this fight? What if we go here and we wind up getting killed? You going to meet some people. So they come to meet you. What kind of preparation you done made? You done made preparation. You got guns. What you think they doing? You know what I'm saying? Everybody could have just been considering, this could be my last time. I told y'all before when I watched that movie, Boys in the Hood, when Trey was in that car, man, he said, "Don't stop the car." I said, how many times I want to say that? Man, you don't know how many times I want to say stop the car and get out. Boy, some of the stuff I went to, some of the stuff I seen, you just like, this could turn out real bad. But, you know, when you going and you headlong, that's for the young people too. You don't need no friends to take you to no trouble. You don't need them. They're not your friend. I know, and you know what, a lot of these, they don't realize, man, these guys will run you into the most junk, stupid stuff. You'll get into stuff because of other people junk. Don't let nobody make no fool out of you and get you and listen. If they junk, they started, you fight it. You handle it. Isn't that right? It's your stuff. Don't even let them pull you in and you can mess around. A lot of innocent people been killed. what we call it wasn't they fight, and they wind up getting in it and wind up getting themselves killed. Let them have it and keep moving so you stay on this side right here. It just ain't worth it. And main thing, while y'all young, this the best time for y'all to consider your creator right now in the days of your youth. Because when you get older, you start to get involved with relationships and things and trying to have aspiration for things. Sometimes it'll block your idea about salvation. It will to get you. And like I said, that's a lot of older people give you bad advice. You still young, just live your life. Listen, you ain't never too young to die. I'm telling you, I had some older people told me that, man, I had some older people, man, they need to be slapped in their mouth. They tell me, they say, you're a young man. They tell me, as an old person try to tell me something, you know, sometimes be an older person tell you, say, they just trying to scare you. You're a young man. You're going to live your life. And that's what I did. I listened to the words of the fool instead of people trying to tell me what was going to happen and what could come on you, you know. And you just don't consider. Now I look back and realize I shouldn't have made it out. I shouldn't have made it out. There's a lot of people that dead and gone should have been me. I seen a lot of my younger friends dead, you know, teens to in the 20s, early 20s, and don't make no mistake, I consider them, and it should have been me. I remember going to see something, look and just realize that should have been me. It should have been me, but I made it out. That's why I'm here now, and I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for the opportunity He given me to be able to get it right and consider and think about all the stupid things I've done that you thinking I was so smart and I got out, or I beat the odds, or got past something the whole time. That man let you come back and consider. And it's just like He could run stuff back through my mind and let me see it and realize you shouldn't have got out of this. You didn't beat it. I'm telling you, it's some stuff I think back through my mind. In my day, I felt like I was smart. I beat the odds. I got out. I was slick. You know, so I knew how to get out of stuff. Man, I go back. He let that stuff replay through my mind. Realize there's no way I was supposed to make it out of that. It was no way possible I should have made it out. But He spared me. He spared me and let me make it out of there. And I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful enough that whatever I have to do, and that was my palau to him, that whatever I got to do to make sure I get this thing right, I want to be minded to do it. I don't want to do like I did before, you know, as a younger man, and thought I had time on my side and think that I was doing all right. And as long as you think to do good or you want to do good, that makes up for the wrong that you do. You got to want to do good, you got to think good, and you got to be good.
That's right. Yes, sir.
That is. Will, up in Kentucky, I saw your note you had in the envelope. And he was trying to consider, like, why was it can't do right? I think the average of us have that sometimes. You try to figure out why you can't do right. You have to really sit back and take inventory of things and people and commitments. Because I look at a lot of things that kept me from doing right were commitments I was in. A lot of times we stay too committed to things that's wrong, but we won't really commit to things that are right. It's like, well, people count on me. They count on you to do wrong. They're not counting on you for the good. The first person that you need to learn how to learn to get yourself to trust you enough to depend on you. You owe yourself before anybody else. Even with your salvation. Of course we owe the credit. He made us. But at the end of the day, you got some part in it too. You owe yourself because He gives you opportunity. He gives you choice. All the people we see out there, people say, well, they didn't have a choice. People have choices when it comes down to salvation. You do have a choice. You just consider. It's not anybody. I don't care if they're in here or not. Don't think people out there don't consider. I consider. Did y'all ever consider? But I'm talking about before you got to the point of coming here. You consider. It might not be long. You think about things. And guess what? You ain't the only person. Some of the people you think just laugh all the time and real funny and, man, they really be getting drunk or they be getting high. You know why they do it a lot of times? They're trying to mask their real feelings. That's what I realized. I was masking a lot of stuff because I didn't want to deal with stuff. And a better way to deal with it, don't think about it. I told you, the group I with, it's certain stuff you couldn't say. Hey, man, get away with that junky stuff, man. Don't be taking that janky. Everything was janky, bad look. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about we going out to steal and say, man, hopefully we don't get caught. I'm telling you right now, you finna get dropped off. You ain't going. You just ended that. It did. You had people like that. You say jail, and they be like, don't say that, man, janky. It be so much. I had niggas be around, broom sweep their foot. They finna spit, and you might finna get a fight going with that. Sweep that thing and hit that foot. I'm going to jail. Listen, it like them niggas like the bars got built right there around them because we were so criminal. I had friends, man, we went out One guy, I finally kind of realized why he didn't never get caught. I remember we were stealing cars then, moving into doing drugs, then selling drugs. I remember them guys would go buy little bags from some root guy. I never did do it. I don't know whatever reason why. I just never did believe in that stuff. I ain't never played where they would go buy these bags. This guy sell them like it'd be this in the 80s. He was charging like $1,400, $1,800 for them. They drive to Miami and get dope. They come in there and get caught. They go see him. He's selling them little bags. Yeah, they go get a bag. I just want my thing. I just want my thing. I didn't do it. I was just like, they go grab that bag from the root man. Listen, they get in that car. They hit it straight down to the bottom. I didn't really call it the bottom back then. They smell headed to the bottom. They heading down there. They coming back with the dope. They never get caught. But I just looked at that. Just never was my thing. I just like, I seen a lot of stuff. Some stuff I just looked at. It just wasn't my thing. I still did things that were contrary. It's just certain things I didn't ever do. But people that just show you that even though people were doing wrong, they want to be protected. You know what I'm saying? They show you people, the average person really doesn't want to do what they're doing. It's just, who do you talk to? Who understands when you're talking to them? Who's really genuine? I'm just telling guys sit in jail, a lot of them, they'll start kind of considering. And sometimes they get back out, they give it wrong. But I seen guys get out, they had that little jailhouse cross. They ain't smoking. Or some of them, they'll smoke, they ain't drinking. They ain't doing that. After a while, they got a bill. After a while, that bill done moved on up, you like that nigga right back. Because they start to consider. They sitting there, they start looking at, man, I'm going to get myself together. I ain't trying to go back to jail. I'm finna cut off. I ain't going to do it. They come around that same wrong influence. They find themselves right back there again. You'd be surprised how much association play a part in a lot of people's degradation. Am I correct? I'll tell you, you'll hear these guys talking about, oh, I do my stuff by myself, Most of the guys you see get caught, they've been fooling with other people. I did it too many times. I've seen it too many times. You get caught up in them groups, and before you know it, you get sloppy, and you wind up going to jail. Other people play a big influence. A lot of people would be here now if it weren't for us outside influences. I ain't talking about in this place. A lot of people would be considering. A lot of people would be in trying to make changes. But then a lot of them have to look at their peer groups they're going to lose. A lot of people afraid of change. I was afraid of change. Listen, people like y'all, I would have never been around a lot of y'all. It'll never happen. I ain't do squares. I'm just being honest. I ain't do squares. I went in. Only one of the person I around didn't drink and didn't smoke, and that was the devil. But he made up for it in criminality. I mean, that was just as good as anybody smoke or drink. Listen, didn't drink, didn't smoke. Every night that we give him to smoke one, he didn't do it. And I tell you about the best criminal I ever been around in my life. Smartest, I learned so much. Listen, smartest criminal I ever seen. That man's whole life was predicated on nothing but wrong. And it worked for him. He the only person I knew, man, the police could put hand right on him, still didn't catch him. I'm telling you, impossible. It'd be impossible. They could put hands on that joke. He wasn't fast. He wasn't strong. He had scoliosis. And he was, not laughing. I'm telling you, they couldn't catch him. Listen, man, they be wasting their time. They might well just throw their keys away. Running behind him, wouldn't win. On 285 Covenant Highway, that joker jumped out the top of that bridge. Listen, man. All right, y'all laughing. Listen, he jumped right off the top of that bridge. He busted a hole in his knee like that and got away. All right, time. That joker got shot. Let me see, he got shot. They shot him in the stomach about 3 times. He went to jail. You know they handcuffed him to the bed, right? I ain't gonna tell y'all about it. He got away. Okay. I know, need to write a movie about it. Listen, they handcuffed him to the bed. He still got away. He was just that good what he did. I seen people, man, listen, I seen some of the best out there. I ain't seen none of them smarter than that one right there. That joker figured out everything. That joker taught us how to get away from the police. When we run, they had that infrared. In the 80s, we were teenagers in high school. He said, lay in the creek, lay in the water, drop your body temperature. Man, we was in high school. That man was 17. I ain't even making this up. Listen, man. That joker figured that out. We was in high school. They ain't had no internet then, not like that. All that stuff was black and white, and you just hooked to a little mainframe at the school. You wasn't going nowhere. All that stuff, listen, that joker taught us how to get away. That was taught me how to steal a car. Man, I was good, too. Listen, that boy I had in mind, that man said, listen, lay in the creek. He said, get in the water, drop your body temperature. The infrared can't pick it up. We're trying to figure out, how would you know that? He knew it. That man could go inside the mall. Listen, break in the mall. He could break in the mall. He could lift that gate. He'll go in the jewelry store. He'll steal one ring and come back out by himself. He wasn't greedy. He knew exactly what to do. We steal a car. We get it. That joker said, leave it. We walk away from it right there. He'll call it every time. He told me one night I was going to jail. We were sitting there, we had gotten to smoke some weed, we were going to go. That joker sat up in the bed, he was high, we were laughing. He was high, that joker sat in the bed. He said, where y'all going? So we finna go get some calls. He said, y'all going to jail tonight. And fell back out of bed, went to sleep. Y'all ain't gonna believe what happened. That night, we didn't get started. We was in a van, we were riding. I was sitting back, I was looking at the back window. I said, listen, I seen police cop like I was looking at the back. I said, they can't be coming up. We just got in this van. That joker locked that thing right behind her. Pull up, we like, oh, goodness, man. He caught everyone I went to jail. Yeah, that's when I wrote my first album. That's how I know I could rap. Man, we were down in the wood, man. They ran that police out of the wood. He went over in that thing and flipped over. We jumped out the van while it was still moving. Stupid stuff. We were laying in the wood, man. They caught them joker. I prayed. I talked to Jesus. I'm talking about me and Jesus, man. What a friend we. I sure thought he'd work out for me then, boy. I was laying in them wood, man. Them police got them jokers. It was four, but they were pulling out with them jokers. I was laying in them wood. That thing I know them jokers turned. They were pulling out. I was like, thank you. I seen them police. They just circle back around and pull back around. They said, it's one more in the woods. I said, that's tight. I had the back. They had them Bermuda shorts. I had them flowers. I had them on. I took my shorts out. I was in my dry. It was in the wood. They just flashing them like they were off from me. They were way off. I'm laying on there. I got leaves on them. Them jokers walking. They doing like that. Them jokers said, I'm like, I had someone in front. I said, don't shoot. I said, don't shoot. That joker said, they had that flag. They said, turn over. They said, turn over your stomach. I said, don't shoot. I let them. Man, them joker beat me so bad. Them joker would kick. I was coming out of the ground. Boom! Every time they were kicking, I just felt that turd. That thing so. Man, my draw was so full of mess. Them folks kicking me. Man, they were kicking me. They were out of breath. They was in the way. They were breathing. They were looking. They said, how we get out of here? One of them said, they said, well, the nigga got us in here. They said, you the nigga to get us out. I was trying to think to myself, I'm like, the nigga, who they gonna use? I'm like, the nigga. That joke got me up on my feet, man. Got my shirt. They got back in the shirt. They said, nigga, they said, we gonna throw you through these bushes. They said, if you fall, they said, we're gonna bust your head over this flat light. I just closed my eyes. I was just going through the bush. Yeah, I almost went down like that. Got back up. I said, nope. They got me in that car, man. That joke got my shot. It's a brand new shoe. Jack got them that day. My dad bought it for me. Stand smell. I want them things all my life. I got that car. I was so tired of it. He said, nigga, these your shoe. I said, yes, sir. Boom, 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 boom. I said, man, you handcuffed. That joke just slapped me. Man, I hit it. Pop, pop, pop. He took those shoes and threw them back in the wood. They took me to jail barefooted. I was like, what? Man, that junk was terrible. Man, you talking about dirty? Oh, man. That joker sat me in the back of that car, man. That joker had sat me and they were sitting because they were still trying to just check. They were doing stuff. That joker opened that door. He said, nigga, you done messed. I said, no, sir. He said, nigga, you done messed. I said, no, sir. I was lying. He done checked them drawers, but I was loaded. Listen, I was locked and loaded. Woo! Them boys were rough. They were rough, boy. They were rough back then. I watched them jokers just so dirty, man. Them boys had so much fear. They talked like you weren't even there. Another one jumped in the car. He said, you want to have some fun? He said, yeah. They said, fun. He said, man, they take that nigga behind that building. He said, they beat the brakes. He like, of course, you know the word. I was in the back seat like, these niggas talk like I ain't even in here. Got the one over. That joker jumped in the back seat, man. That joker grabbed me by my shirt. He had that flat light. They drove behind that building, took me behind the liquor store, County Road. That joker said, he said, nigga, I'm finna bust your head on. I said, yes, sir. He said, nigga, you hear me? I'm finna bust your blanket head on. I said, yes, sir. His friend opened the door. I said, do it. Go ahead and do it. He told redneck. I was looking at that joker. That joker, he had a heart. He wanted me to go off with him and start clowning with him so he'd give him the ammunition to do it. I wasn't stupid. I had to listen, sir, I got a drawer full of mess. You ain't got no problem out of me right now. Isn't that right? Y'all got here prove you will kill a nigga. But I just look at how many things, man, just went through and just done. Now, the other boy, they had to go to the hospital. One of them was so fat, he ran out the grass. He ran up the hill and fell, pan, slagging down. That joker fell. He couldn't even get up out of the ground. They just walked up to him and just put the handcuffs on him. He had panic. He was trying to get up. He was so fat, he just walked that joke there. Click. That one took him. Another one, man, they took that joke and screwed. They took you like they took his face, just put it on the pavement, just drew it and crossed the ground. That skin just rolled. So when they brought us down there to the precinct, they brought us in the precinct. They took a little one they got outside the cab mall. They took that precinct down there, little holding thing they had over there by the mall. They had that joker stand there and hit draw. He told them joker. He said, when I got to jail, he said, I'm gonna steal your car too. I said, God. They just grabbed this. They said, don't put him down in that room. They grabbed that joker, just started throwing him through the lockers. They had some lockers. They slammed him in every locker they had. I like, but these boys here crew. Oh, the nigga was the worst one they had. That joker came in there and choked me out. I'm in a chair. And, you tried to kill my lieutenant! Ah! Other white ones just looking at each other, looking like, look at this nigga right here. They're like, this nigga here is really over-dramatizing this stuff. He about to cry because the lieutenant caught him, flipped over here and went down in some little wood over there by that Waffle King they got over there. But them folks sure enough mean enough. Yeah, I done suffered a lot of stuff. I say all that to say that y'all young people, don't do it. It ain't worth it. Get your life right. A lot of us done went through enough stuff. You ain't never got to get out here and try to. Now, I can laugh about it now. I tell you, I wasn't laughing then. You ain't laughing then. You seeing these folk that you something down here, hit off someone, they talking about killing you. It ain't funny then you fighting up people's hands. So I look at people get killed by the hands of the police. I know how it can happen too. And these people get killed for nothing. I'm telling them folks took us. Listen, they put us down here. Like, I had never been there before. I'd been lost trying to figure out where in the world these people got us at. And I'm telling you, but one of them, I think they get stitched about 3 spots in his head. They took the flat light, they just went in his head with it. I just got all feet and shoes. Yep, that's why I don't play around with him nobody. Tell me him in the stomach, I gotta shoot you. I already know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna mess on myself. But I tell you, man, I just look at the different stuff we escaped, we made out of. Let me see, one of them dead. He told them, listen, we went to court. Them folks set us in there for that bond hearing. I was sitting there listening. And they were reading off charges, one on there with us. I was sitting there reading that joker. He had stole the police, he had stole a Fed car. We was sitting here looking, I was sitting here saying, oh my goodness, this is bad. I think the judge gave him a bond for about, back then, that was in the 80s, they gave him a bond for about $15,000. They gave me a $10,000 bond, I think it was. And I think it might have brought mine down to $5,000. Cause I was waiting the judge like, you shouldn't be with him. He was like, Your Honor, can I say something? He said, yeah. He said, I want to say, I don't think it's fair. You gave him a $10,000 bond, and you gave him a $5,000. You gave me a $15,000 bond. He said, you right, make you a $35,000. I said, goodness, what was this boy thinking to open his mouth? Yeah, he was crazy. He started crying. If we go to get a car and we decide they're gonna get it, he'll start crying till we steal the car. He was a nutcase like that. He dead now. A lot of these guys. Other one that fell on the ground, life in prison. I just look at all these people life messed up. Other ones shot, just everything messed up. Other one got shot by 22 times. All that stuff. I seen him some years ago. He nutted up when he seen me. He just knew I was gonna do something to him. I wouldn't even think about it. He was shaking in fire. I was trying to figure out what was wrong with it. He said, I thought you were gonna do something to me for that. I was like, man, that's been so many years ago. I wouldn't even think about that stuff. It was past my mind. I was just surprised he alive. He kind of got walking kind of slow. He caught 22 bullets. Yeah. I just look at, boy, when I tell you, Mr. Hood been told, when you look at all the people around you and where you could be and how your whole life could be, man, all them boys went to prison. We went to court that day. We finally had to go to court. We went out. Listen, them boys sitting there, the judge got through. Everybody kissed their mama. They kissed their mama, took their necklace off. Me and my mama and the DA, we was over here at the little party that signed that thing for probation. I look at them girls. Listen, me and the DA, we sitting home. Sign that paper. Listen, I was signing paper to go home at probation. I see them they sit out, listen. Take their necklace up, give their mama, kid their mama. They were taking them boys out to go to jail. I like, you won't tell on nobody else. You should let me get away. I'm telling. All they had to do was just go in jail by themselves. Leave me alone now. Leave me alone. They messed around there, told them folks, one more in the wood. I said, let me go and write that album for you right quick. Y'all need to know the whole truth about what did happen right here in this situation. That's it. I started learning. You have that loyalty to these people. These people ain't got no loyalty to you. Don't go ahead and make no fool out y'all say young people thinking about no loyalty. These niggas will tell as soon as they go to jail. I seen every time I see them, they'll talk. Ain't but a few I dealt with now. I dealt with some now. They ain't telling. They not going to tell. I'm talking about, I know guy get shot. They ain't telling. They ain't telling nothing. They going to hunt you down. I know this. They ain't telling nothing. Police will get nothing. I don't care what happened. The police will never get a word out of them. They want you themselves. They ain't telling. They go to jail, they ain't telling. I had one like that. He walked straight out of my apartment. As soon as he walked my apartment and made a right, he sold to some undercover. Man, them folk were all around that place. He ain't tell nothing. I went to see that, go down there and see him. He told me, he said, ain't had nothing to do with you. He said, that was me. That was on me. I like, that's what I like right there. All I looking at, had been me, son? Let me check you in here where I get there. Hold on. But no, that's it. I'm just telling you, ain't no loyalty. Don't believe these people out there. Y'all keep a straight, narrow head. Do the right thing. Don't get yourself screwed up out here thinking somebody. These gangs, these kids tell. Don't believe these folk. They tell. Oh, yeah. All them look, they snitch. They'll talk that track. You'll get a couple of that won't tell. They dangerous. Stay away from around them too. The one that won't tell danger and the one that'll tell danger. So don't mess with nobody. He won't tell. He's dangerous. Get out from around him. You see, I'm telling you, I've seen some of the worst people you've seen in your life. Don't fool with these people. Y'all young people got a chance to keep your head on straight, get your education, make something out of yourself, and let work to try to establish our people as a nation. When you get yourself down in that prison system and they start with your youth, and now they setting up what more our youth going to continue to go with that. Lock them up, let them go, lock them up, let them go. It's just till you hit 17. Then they're going to put you away for the rest of your life. I'm telling you now, I'm catching y'all now. I know once you go down there, you're going to go down and get tatted. Once you get tatted, then you're going to start drawing in your face. Then you're going to mess around, you're going to get stupid. You're going to get on some of that crazy acid dope that make you feel like you're invincible, and you're going to pop up on an old man like me or somebody like that, and you're going to get your brain blowed out. Because we scared of you. Ain't that right? Nigga got a whole book wrote on his face. What you think I think about you? I seen one went to school with Bryce, a young guy. Handsome young boy. Handsome young. Listen, you could hear mine was gone. I did him a favor, let him get a car, work with him. He didn't keep that car no time. He back in prison. Listen, handsome young boy. He was a handsome young man. That joker done drew all in his face. He done drew all in by looked at it. He was telling about how he was glad to see he was doing good. But you could see the effects of how it just messed him up so bad. You probably know him too. What you know him? Some days I think you know him, don't you? Yeah, I know they probably know him. Listen, done drew all over his face. I already knew his life over with. Who gonna give you a job? You don't walk up, you got a whole book rolling, and you could change your life, repent all you want to. People gonna hold your past on you. Y'all young people, remember that decisions you make are gonna follow you for the rest of your life. While y'all young, you really need to consider your situation. I could have went and got all ear-ringed up and stuff like that. Henry Grady broke me out. I was in the 2nd grade. We was at the barber shop. We stayed over there in Winter Avenue. What is that over there? Kirkwood area. We was in that barber chair. They had a chair. That man was putting them earrings in them man's ear. They put out, looked at my daddy. I said, can I get an earring? He looked at me. He said, boy, you ain't no sissy. I said, God. So that kid, he hollered that stuff right in that box. Man, that man was in the chair. I said, God, that bad. I ain't never asked him no more the rest of my life. I'm good for life. We already know what this we're going. I said, that man said, he pulled me to the side. We could have went outside and talked. He could have wrote a letter. You know what I'm saying? Just said, that ain't for you. Other grown people. That man hollered, I wasn't no sissy. I said, that got that right there. Won't be asking no more for no earring. Because we came along, earring, you had like in the 70s, people had, they just had the left and it was a small one. So then what guy had, they had the straw. Y'all young. They wouldn't have, a man would just have a straw. They used to burn a straw in here, they had a straw in his ear. You know how that when that little broomstick started? That was it. Then the guy had that little bit of little gold one like they put in a little baby girl ear. That was it. But otherwise, I remember about the 80s, they started doing 2 and they had one in both ears. That sure enough throwed me. The first one throwed me, the second one done there killed me. I said, yeah, need to let Henry Grady see that one. I'll let you talk to Henry Grady, he'll tell you about that in your ear. It was just a thing that but you know what, believe it or not, people don't accept it, but our people actually did, our men did wear earrings. I'm talking about even when you look in the book they did. When Aharon told them they were going to build a golden calf, he told them to take the earrings. He told them out of the ears of their wife, their daughter, and of their sons. A lot of stuff we did. But if you go back and read the 3rd chapter of the book of Yeshayahu, they call Isaiah, he'll start telling he took away the earrings. Oh, yeah, you had them. I ain't going to tell you. You can't take away something. How are you going to take away something you never had? Right. The book say, he said he took away the earrings. He took away all that stuff away from him. And now that's why I guess customary we look at, we don't. You'll see like a lot of African tribes, you'll see them put different things in their ears, plates and other things. That'll be a symbolism to things that they do. Now if you look at our men now, a lot of our men move to homosexuality. That's the difference between them. Homosexual when they said, but look at how they do it. See, when you get with the European, that changed everything for us. I mean, think about it. When you look at historically from the book, our men did wear earrings. And as Christians, they don't want to accept it. They don't want to believe the truth. They don't want to believe it. I teach against it. I don't think no man need to put them in their ears. I still stand with that. Just, simply because I got booked to show where he took it away from me at the same time. And a lot of things, it don't do nothing. First, a lot of things he took away from them. And a lot of things people still try to hold to, and then they don't want to hold to the truth. My whole thing, I want to make sure I get this thing right for my salvation. A lot of people in the West, they want style and fashion. Style and fashion will hurt us. Even when it came to the changeable suits of apparel, he took it away. He even stripped us all the way down to the 4th chapter of the book of Yahusha, which is actually the same writing, same book. A woman actually broke it down in the chapter and verse. They even said that they were going to wear their own clothes. That's right, and eat their own bread. They said, only let us be called by your name. That's right. He told you, he said 7 women, 7 nashim for women, we're going to take hold of one man. See, Christians don't teach it because they don't understand it. If you go to the book of Yeshua and the book of Kahzun that they call Revelation, the 1st chapter, the book of told you that he said he stood in the midst of the 7 lampstands. That's right. That's what they looked at. That's what they did. They were going to take hold of him, which means he was going to be in the middle. How all 7 of them going to take hold of him? He was going to have to be in the middle. That's right. And they said they were going to wear their own clothes. See, a lot of stuff we're going to wind up getting away from. And we continue to listen and continue to grow, we have to start change the way we start looking at how we do things, because we hadn't fully emerged to the people we need to be. Because with their custom style, they got a way of kind of fitting us back into things. Just when you think you out of something, they'll fit you back into something. I'm telling you, that's just the style. Look at them. All their sweatpants. I like my sweat. Again, skin and skinner down the legs. I mean, and then you go, you said, wear them. I told her, I said, wear the pants that ain't gay. She's gonna be like, skirt girl, you don't want them yappy little young child. I said, the ones ain't gay. I said, I'm not gay. I'm trying to get the ones ain't gay. She was thrown. She was trying to figure that thing out. Like, I don't know what's the problem. You never heard a man tell you he ain't gay. But unfortunately, I mean, this is the style of what they do. Everything they get, they try to feminize it. They do. They want to emasculate the man. That's why it's important. Especially look at the quote-unquote black, and it's every man they want to effeminate. It's every man they want to take down, but especially when you look at the so-called Negro. I'm telling you, look at it. I'm being honest with you. Man don't want no woman now. They don't. Shoot, it take them too long. They ain't interested in no woman now. Man, I was chasing in the nursery. I ain't tell you, y'all must like, boy, they be scared a girl be running. I don't never remember that. Ain't never happened. I don't know where y'all remember these boys, they been take all running wild them and slam into a wall. Not so. Not so, but I always wanted the girl. Ain't that right? We play house. I always play daddy. I tell you, I said, y'all kids go play. I tell you, kids, y'all go play. No, that's in the nursery. I don't know where they get that stuff from. They don't teach. I got the video game teaching now to like boys or something. I don't know what's going on with them. I don't know. They just cripple these young boys. They don't want no girl. They ain't even interested in them. They have to say, we ain't not tell y'all talk about like a girl. They nasty. Be like, how old are you? 25? Yeah. I tell you now, you ain't gonna get no better. They ain't gonna get no better. But see, we have to coach. These are things that you have to teach. A young boy had to be kind of groomed to know this is what's acceptable for a young man. And our young women, this is what's acceptable to them. You know what I'm saying? It's cute when they small, when they say that. They get too old now to be talking about they don't want no girl, they don't like no girl, and that just throws me. I mean, it's not even now. You don't have more people now just single. They don't matter. They'll be 90 years old. They don't want no woman. Me and Malcolm talk. Malcolm said he's still on the prowl. Ain't that right, Malcolm? I know that right. Malcolm said he going in the gym. He said he finna come in the gym starting. Malcolm finna be 62, swole up. Ain't that right? We're gonna hit him a couple times. All we gotta do is give a couple of them horse steroids, get in that little creatine. That just be rocked up. 62 rocked up like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Come here, girl, and fit them 62-inch muscle. We don't have him ready around now. So I tell man, shoot, man, a woman want a man. Man want a woman. Isn't that right? He supposed to. He's supposed to. I'm telling you, everything they give you is just make. I don't know what it is. They giving them stuff like to make them like other men and not like women. It's sick. And there ain't never seen so many gay preachers. You'd be like a gay preacher maybe here or there. You stayed out now. A lot of these preachers gay. Yes. Listen, 100% gay. That's gay. And the wife with them. Yeah. And you know, every time you watch his draw, that man got a snook, like somebody took a snooker ball, went all up the front of his draw. She'll talk, baby, you need to put the candy bar in your pocket. It keep get out, it melt and it leaking over to your draw. That's not no candy bar. No, good and well. Isn't that right? Ain't no snicker bar got no meat in it. Put on a meat flavored snicker bar. It's sad, man. It's like, I don't know what. And then you can't, listen, the churches have just dropped the standard so bad. I'm not going to say and tell a lie and say the church didn't have a standard. There was a standard that we knew of in the church. Standard gone. That the little they had. Now, they'd always had a gay piano player or a gay keyboard player. Churches kept those now. They kept them. Not to say they don't. They kept them. And then you got them in the choir. There'll be a director or there'll be one sister in there that can sing. And everybody know you overlook that sister that can sing. Okay, that sister can blow. You just like, you leave that to the Lord. Somebody say, ain't he get? Let the Lord judge that now. Come on, let's be honest. How many of y'all don't remember that? We all know that. They did. The church always done crept them in. They always kept them. And people overlooked them because they looked at what the homosexual could do. The homosexual might have had money, or the homosexual could lead the choir, or the homosexual could play the keyboard player, and the folk looked there, just leave it alone, leave it to the Lord. Look at the Spirit, just use him for what he do. Maybe he really ain't gay. We had one on the nursing guild. I don't know what he did. He never nursed on me. And that sister still lived. Did y'all know him? Oh, Big Charlie. Big Charlie was something. Charlie came to church one day and told him, he said he think he pregnant. What? Yeah, he told me he think he pregnant. He ain't give another J though. Yeah, they think he pregnant. But see, when folk don't want, Charlie could cook chicken though. Charlie to work down in the kitchen. I didn't want nothing from Charlie. Listen, I don't eat from sister. A homosexual, last time I ate from a sister, it was one named Junior. And I had went out, I had to work. I came back, they had cooked some food at True Dirt. And they had made some, my wife brought me a plate. They had some wild hog on there. They had a peach cobbler. I tell you that thing, I said, woo, that thing good. I said, who made that peach cobbler? She said, Junior. I said, Junior. I said, Junior. I was trying to think, who is Junior? I said, the sissy? Yeah. I don't eat for no sissy. No, I don't eat. I said, Junior made it. I said, where you think he got the sugar from? No, I don't even know sissy. No. Sissy come with their own sugar. Man, all right. That joker's so sweet. You make Kool-Aid, he ain't got to put it, he just touched the glass. Ping. Listen, tell the outside, ping, sweet. You ain't got to stir it, just pour it and drink. I don't know. I don't eat from them. If I know a sister, I'm not interested. I just don't. Because I know they're going to look, I'm a straight man. A sister try to vibe you. Okay. I'm tell y'all men something. All right. You play, you be stupid you want to. Okay. Let me tell you something. Sissies will vibe you. Okay. They're going to vibe you to see whether they're going to make a move or not. And they catch that, when they catch that resistor or catch that you ain't in the sissy, and they go get your food, where you think they're going? There you go. Go ahead and get you some hockey sauce. I already know they're going to go. Because I know you ain't finna pick up and say, man, you going nowhere. So I don't eat from them. They can be, listen, you can trust that sissy. I tell you, you trust that sissy. I don't trust them. I don't even know. I'm telling you, a sissy is going to vibe you. And his vibe going to be, I don't feel like you got, he catch you like this, and he can vibe you like you hate sissy. 1 minute, I'm finna get your food. I'm telling you how your food finna go. Because what are the word for it? They're vindictive. Okay, they got a right. Homosexual vindictive. Y'all tell y'all want to. They don't play that stuff. Listen, they're not conscious enough not to try to make moves on people. They don't let people approach them. They stupid. They'll try to force their way on people. So when they look at that you will go against it, they're gonna hold that against you. Let's just be honest. Listen, that's your church, that's what you do. I just don't want to eat from you. That's just bottom line. I know a lot of y'all that I'm thinking now. I get cooked because all my food, keep eating it. You don't find, you're a man. Every night you go home, don't check it now. Wait later. Your butthole just spread. When you keep walking, you have to keep doing it, keep trying to walk. Try to whoop flat, my butt cheek keeps spreading. All right? Man, your butt just, all of you just standing in the wind blow. Your behind just flop. No, I'm not eating from them. You know what? I guarantee they ain't going to find out. And that's my speculation. And they ain't going to find out. I just don't eat from them. Bottom line, I know they might get, how many of y'all like that? That cover on something. Go ahead and pray. I ain't going to pray over. I ain't finna pray over them. What am I praying over? They going to tell me I pray over it. Let me tell you something. Even Yahusha said, you're not supposed to tempt Elohim. I'm not finna go eat from no Ku Klux Klan and pray over it, talking about you supposed to pray. That's stupid. I'm praying over things I have no knowledge of, I have no idea of, and I'm looking for him to purify. It made no sense. I'm going to watch him take some poison, pour it in him. All I'm finna do is pray over it. I'm tempting Elohim. Elohim has allowed me the knowledge to see and to realize he's done something to it. Why would I eat it? And then put it on him when I pray? No, I don't play around like that. I don't eat. I remember one time, when I used to go to the church with Smith, when she was lusting at me real bad. She had that lasciviousness for me. So anyway, and some other people got it too, but I just leave them alone. So then, I remember, man, had them tables, they had birthdays, they had them tables, they had that food up there, and all them sisters cooking. They said, Tony, you get some of my table? Nah, that whole lot. I went on, got on them steps, set my food down, and prayed on it. I asked Jesus with all my power, watch over this food for me. Don't let that happen. Boy, I got some kind of sick. I learned then, don't risk it. And I already said, They were too worried about wanting me to eat. I'm telling you, somebody keep pushing something, you keep, that bothered me then. I don't know why you keep pushing me to want to eat. If I say I don't want to eat, I don't want to eat it. How come you don't eat from my task? I'm good. Don't keep forcing on me now. I said no. So that made me realize you got another intent. And I was some kind of sick too. Man, I was sick. I don't know why I'm telling y'all that. How many of y'all really ain't think nothing about it? You just pretty much are going to eat. Don't tell the truth. That's good. Everybody here say, all right, let's get ready to go. I mean, you ain't got to pray. Y'all so wise and so, I'm telling y'all, man, y'all got to be careful out here with these people. Listen, y'all don't, people have a whole, let me tell you what threw me. In the 80s, I remember on Bankhead Highway, get off it used to be High Tower. They changed that, what they changed that? Home, okay. You got one leaped off that took you by Douglas High School, get to the end, right there, Bankhead. Burger King said, right down that corner. That's right, on the right side. You remember that? Who said that? You said that? That Burger King still there? Ain't that right? Ain't that, I know where it's at, baby boy. Ain't that right? Go down there, Silver Fox on the left. I know this. I know. So anyway, that Burger King right there, listen, man, in the 80s, they had a guy, they wound up busting him. He had been ejaculating in the mayonnaise. That won't eat mayonnaise. That killed me in the 80s. I won't eat it. Listen, I know that Burger King. That sissy was in that Burger King. He was ejaculating in the mayonnaise. That's when, listen, Whopper was 99 cents. So y'all know what that line was like. Somebody wound up catching him. How many people ate them Whoppers? That's why, listen, my wife said, I don't play. Don't put that junk on my food. That's why I hate it. That's why, that just threw me so bad. I used to eat mayonnaise. You know what I'm saying? Mayonnaise. And you realize you could disguise that stuff in mayonnaise. That killed my whole, that's why I won't eat it. People on the pizza hate mayonnaise. You better believe it with all my heart. I'll hate to look at it. That sister messed up a lot. He ain't the only person. They don't call other ones doing it. I don't know why they let homosexuals in these restaurants. They don't call other ones since then doing it. These people repeat the same action. Listen, they're vindictive. And the problem was he had AIDS. Oh, I did mention that part, didn't I? Oh, he did have AIDS too. So can you imagine them people going through and getting these Whoppers with confidence of, you know what I'm saying, these people doing what they're supposed to. A lot of times we put a lot of stuff on people doing what they're supposed to do. I don't really fool with these people. I like Fogo a lot. They cook and stuff, bring it out. I eat Subway pretty much every morning. I get Subway so I can watch you make my study, put the gloves on. I like that, get my salad. A lot of these places I've been with y'all, these people just disgusting. They disgusting, and the people and then when I look at this, I worked in the restaurant industry. I never did that to people. Drop something on the floor and because I consider, you go to a restaurant, think of something, it's some more people like you. Don't wash their hands, they go grabbing, they're cooking. Oh, why people do so much stuff. I had to stop. Even I said, stop. I said, change your glove. I said, you just went on and grabbed the pen. I said, they said, you want me to change my glove? Which part you don't get? What purpose you put on your? You think it's okay if you go handle ink pen and paper and money, and then I want you to make my son with gloves? This just defeat the problem. Purpose, you could just use your hands. Cause they feel like, and then they look like oh, you so extra. Like, are you serious? Why you think they got you with gloves on? Handle my food with the gloves. Play with the paper and money when you done. These dumb about to go to cat wrestler, you the glove, then come back like stop. I stop. I let them know you can have it. You don't play mine, I don't know. You can have it. Yeah. Go ahead and keep it. It ain't that serious. Y'all remember they had some girl, some woman, two of them got shot over there about yeah, they said, and that was that Northside Drive? I thought it was over like the guy shot the two sisters. In the subway. I think they did something. They got to arguing with him. One jumped in the middle. He shot. Y'all remember that was on the news? Yeah, he popped both of them jokers. He killed both of them, didn't he? Two sisters were working and now they got it to. That's another thing I tell you. Y'all dealing with people stuff. You don't be arguing with people about their food, man. That them kill spot. It's just certain stuff. Don't do it. Just look. If they something they want to do, just give it to them, be done. I ain't saying he was justified when he done. And this is what happened. A lot of times what people don't realize, what provokes stuff, people be like, this is how they show the story. That ain't worth it. 2 people die over sound. So you make the story look frivolous. Go through the whole detail of how stuff happened. If you mishandling my food, I'm finna eat. A person not resident, they're looking at, I'm finna eat this. Had I not caught you, probably something you done, I'm trying to correct you, and you going, and some person mind going at, you would have did this to me, and you going your something, you don't know who you effing with, and now you don't push things a whole nother place. But when the story gonna go, it gonna be all this over sandwich. I would have paid for it. You don't gonna make it like it be fit, like I drop a quarter. Carrie pick it up. I said, let me get my quarter. You know, hey man, that's my quarter. Man, F you, man. You dropped it, mine. Let me get my quarter. You know what I'm saying? It's my money. It's the thing. You know this. Man, you better get the F on, F nigga. Now he'll call me a faggot, a punk over there. Now we went to this level. Now we broke out. Boom, boom. I shot him, he shot me. Now the story, somebody at the funeral. I would have gave him a quarter. Let's talk about the disrespect behind it. Right. Let's talk about how the situation went to where now it got insulted. So now it's not just about the quarter. It's the fact on top of the quarter, you've gone to insult me, and now you don't went to call me something I feel offended. Listen here, faggot. Look here, F boy. And like, well, now we already I'm looking at my money. Now you don't went to the insulting end. Now don't went to now we gun blazing. But when the story come out, come on, the newspaper got a quarter set up here for that. A dead body in a quarter. Now that really make it like it's just sent. Look at it. Oh, ye of little faith. Look here, they shot the man. Oh, I could have gave him a quarter. I gave him $1 so he could have lived. I seen people say all that stupid stuff. People need to learn how far to go with your mouth. Because sometimes people's mouth is the part that really instigated to put into the shooting. It's not the actual issue. It's the fact that you've gone too far. It's just certain stuff you shouldn't say. I talk about like women. Women call each other bees all the time. What's up, B? What's up? Y'all know that though. They'll be coming on women. What's up, B? You know what? I don't have no friend. We walk up. What's up, faggot? Oh, nothing, punk. Yeah, but why would we have that conversation? Why would you walk up and me and you greet each other and faggot? But you know, women to get this. Oh, what's up, ho? Whatever. You know, oh, ho. You know, come on, ho. We gotta go. You're like, when we had to call y'all ho, y'all had a fit. Yep. Y'all swinging windmills in elementary. You going to the office. Listen, oh, don't let me no female that she drag you to the office. Then the principal get you. When they get through, man, they think him, you about that big. They writing you and they writing that pretty and cursive on that thing. They're bad. All that bad. You don't ever want you hoe again. But now, all that fighting you did to try to regain your respect and make a man respect you, you threw it all out of the way for your girlfriends. Yeah, they know they threw it out the way for their girlfriends. Some of the stuff women say what they do. You couldn't say no stuff like that. Now women, shh. Shoot, you had to be careful. You ask a woman for oral sex. Now you can't shut up from offering it to you. It just it was quiet. It was private. How many of y'all remember that? Man, one had her name out there. What they say? You better go get you a white girl. Now they hollered. They did, didn't it? That girl hollered. I know why you want that white girl. They hollered stuff. They was, but shh. Isn't that right? Yeah, they'll beat them out. The sister done blow them out. It's wide open now. That fur bench. Man, you get that in the batting cage. You don't have to leave the dugout now. I'm just saying, we push to a level where now a woman keep her respect. Let me say that. There's always been something. It has always happened. It ain't new. It's just now it's more commonly spoken of by our people. And because our people didn't realize where they should have left certain things in a bedroom, they took it to the street. Our women took it to the street. Everything just to the street. It's just flat out just going. The bedroom is supposed to be sacred. When they told you marriage is honorable in all, and you talking about and don't defile the bed. Like they'll tell you now, you'll have some people say this. I know one pastor teach that retarded stuff. That a woman can drink semen and all this. This is retarded. It makes no sense. It has blood. You're not supposed to eat blood. But he will teach you that because he's ignorant. He'll say the bed is undefiled. The book, see, this is what happens when you have a King James perversion. It tells you marriage is honorable in all and the bed is undefiled. It does not say that actually in the writings. It said marriage is honorable, and it told you not to defile the bed. But because you have a King James perversion, in your mind, you assume it still reads the same way, and it's not. That's why we go back and we look. Certain things, I remember how it quotes from the James Version. You read it, you say, it doesn't say that. That's why I know with Christianity, I know your religion ain't right, because you won't sit down and look at what did it really say. But because you got it from them, what does it mean when it said marriage is honorable in all and the bed is undefiled? What can a married person, what can two married people do? Because it said, he didn't say that. He said, and don't defile the bed. Telling you that there are some things that are off limit that you can do. But because they so stuck on the James version, James allows them to get away with things. Sanctified, holy, and running on in Jesus' name. That's the problem. Y'all got it. And that's why we had to take time to go back and look things over. And I tell y'all this. That's why we had to look at really hard the ancient, because it's really simplistic. You can't make up your own stuff. It only reverts to a couple of things when you watch it, and it gives you a better perception of. Just like he's saying, seeing you shall see. He told, and not perceive. But when you see the olive, I can perceive when he tell me about how he said I can lead you out, because the olive have that ability. The reason why it sets in the front, because it can also defend, like Yahuwah. He was in front of it, he said, because I can defend. I can protect. When it talked about a man should be a hiding place from the wind, what do you use it for? What would you typically use for a hiding place? For if the wind blows, what would you usually use? Structure. Guess what I do? I can take his hide and I can build a tent. That structure, and I can go inside of it to be a hiding place from the wind. See, in the book of Yahusha, he told me, he said, and a man was going to be a hiding place from the wind. So y'all hear me? So these things I start to consider when I look at the olive. All of these are characteristics that he allowed me so I will understand his ability. Now, this is on a smaller end, but yet it gives me an understanding. So in hearing, I can hear and understand. In seeing, I can see and I can perceive. But when you're in Christianity, you're hearing, but you don't hear to understand. You're seeing, but you don't see to have a perception. And so it dampens your belief about Elohim. So a lot of things they believe, it's all superficial. It ain't so. It's what is science fiction. A lot of stuff, it's not even practical. It just makes absolutely no sense. But people do it based off of emotion. Your slave master have given you all your perception. And this hurts you when it comes down to when it comes down to your servitude toward Yahuwah. So I'm really mindful when we look and we read, I want to make sure I understand. Y'all got it? Because it's dangerous to read something and don't. I mean, I told you, how many of y'all took tests and they would have, like, until you take the state board test, they'll have a paragraph, read it, then answer the question. How many of y'all did that? How many of y'all read it and you forgot what you read, or you kind of got off while you were reading it, kind of in your mind, you kind of dazed up? You read, you think, you like, then you had to, sometimes you read the question. I remember reading, I said, I'm supposed to be reading. It's quiet in there. You got to, that time throw you. They said, everyone put your pens down. Your pencils. They said when the clock started, everyone pick up your pencils, start taking the test. And you start out with everybody else. Then you looking around other folk, you like, they gone. Them people about to be done. You look around. They just going, you looking around, why ain't nobody like me? I'm sitting here confused. What I'm supposed to be doing? And everybody just going, you just sitting up on you like 10 more minutes, you're like, oh, I'm finna mess up now. They said, and they go through all that. They said, listen, if you get to a question, if it takes too long, just go ahead and go to the next question. I'm passing too many questions at that point. You know what I'm saying? I ain't finding nothing I can get. Like, y'all ain't got no true false with a slight bubble in on the right answer. That's the best test. True false with the bubble in, with a slight bubble in for the right answer. That be easy. That way you can run on through. Because tests don't really teach you how smart you are. Because think about it. Test taking is a skill. So if it's a skill on how to test take, it's really not about what you know. That is. That being honest. That makes no sense. They said, well, you run out of time. Pick a letter and just start bubbling in. So why would I just be doing that? Case, I just do B or C all the way down the test. You see what I'm saying? So it's not about that. It's a test-taking skill they give you. It's really to divert and get you off. It don't really show you what you really know. Okay. Then they write the question to confuse you. Isn't that right? They write it out. They just ask me, listen, are elephants heavy? Yes. Do you agree with me? I said, if that's what you say, yes. See, I know that now. So we got to teach people we got to make test designs so people get smarter. We don't need tests to make them dumber. How many of y'all kids have a problem with tests? Take a test. What problem y'all have with tests? President, he don't have a problem taking a test. He raised his hand, didn't he? You had a hand up. She was steady going. Well, you got a problem? He said, oh, okay, put it down. What get y'all off with tests? Tell me what throw y'all off. They ask too much stuff. Yeah. Yeah. He said a teacher, that's how they do it. I'm telling you what gets you every time. When you take that first, when you had that test, they get it, they had that test-taking voice. Okay, well, I don't know why, always somebody do it. Don't open the test till we tell you. What happened? Do not open it. Somebody open it up because you're trying to get, I ain't gonna lie, I'm trying to get I'm like, I need to just get a little size here. Because I know, cause everybody start off the same time, but there's some kids that just move on through this thing, and I hate them kids. So I need a little edge, I need to look. Then and they go with that example, you feeling good. They be like, and then I go back and look at the example. How about that question ain't nowhere in that book? I'm like, give me some more of them questions on the front of him we just went over. I know that answer. And like, what is the purpose of you giving me this question on the front? It is nothing else in here like this. I didn't just turn in and say, listen, I answered this one right. At least give me credit for that one. So we need to try to help y'all with test-taking skills, or we need to just really educate them where they can get past it. So what we're going to try to do, we'll start trying to introduce, every week we'll try to introduce a word and get y'all a word that you'll get in your understanding so you can kind of get better in what you're doing. How about that? Y'all want to do it? Every week we'll try to introduce a new word to them, and we'll try to give you understanding to the word. That way you kind of get an idea how these people set up things. I'm going to tell you what I learned later. A lot of things they told you, you really don't know it. I'll be honest, I was telling my wife about that, even with vowels. Y'all remember we talked about a vowel? What is a vowel? So he said, talk louder, stand up, let me hear you. Tell them what a vowel is. Stand up. Tell everybody what a vowel is, if you remember.
A vowel is a letter.
What did you say at the end? What's a consonant? A letter, that's right. When we came along, they told us a vowel was what? A, E, I, O, U, and sometime Y. But did we understand what it meant? That's how they get you every time. They just told you something. And in your mind, you felt smart. They told you could pick out a vowel, but you didn't know what made it a vowel. It was a vowel because in enunciating the letter, there was not a restriction. A. What restricted me from saying A? B. So what would that be, my young people? Vowel or consonant? What? Why would it be a consonant? Huh? I can't hear you. Talk up. What restriction? Can you show me what the restriction was? If you say, oh, well, you got a restriction now. Tell me, what restriction did y'all say? What's that? What did my lips do? How? And the only reason why I'm questioning them like that, I want them to understand it down to a simple form. Look at B. B. I'm telling you, it's a restriction. Look, B. B. There's no way to say B without doing my lips like that. B. There's no way to say it. A. X. You can't do it. Y'all see what I'm saying? I want y'all to understand it. This is what they don't do in school. They teach them just enough to just push you past. And you're really not learning something because all you know is what they told you is not enough. See, white people design things differently. So when they design it in a way that they have more of a comprehension to it, you don't have that. You don't have command of subject. You just kind of recite. All the teachers do is recite. School don't really educate them to a degree. Now, white people, they'll educate them better. I remember Justin enlightened us on Romeo and Juliet. Now, we all familiar with the story. I had never heard in my life that when she was telling him wherefore art thou, that she was asking him why was he called Romeo. How many of y'all knew that? Let me ask you, how many of y'all remember the story? How many of y'all were told the story? But why nobody never told you that when she was saying wherefore art thou, that she was not asking him where he was, she was asking him why was he called Romeo? Because that was the reason why they couldn't be together. You see how, but listen, now they'll give you this and you'll study and you'll do theatrical with it, but you have so little knowledge. You're thinking she's actually asking him where he is. So you don't really have a command of subject. So you can see they code things that you don't even recognize, you don't even know. That's why it's important for us to go over things that they've been told. They've been told by nouns, they've been told by pronouns, they've been told by adverbs and adjectives. Do they really understand that? No. They've just been told what it was. They don't understand why. My wife raised her hand. You were taught why? Oh, I thought you were. Were you taught why? Why, like the noun, the pronoun, the adjective, adverb. Y'all got all these things we have now. Prepositional phrase or prepositional. Do y'all know what preposition is? You say yeah. Well, I ask you, how about the adult? Not really, they don't. Because a lot of times they don't tell us stuff like that. All the preposition does is just take off the pre and just look at position. All the preposition do is just kind of give you a direction. That's all it does. Hello? That's all it does. It just give you the direction. That's all it's doing, giving you direction. If I told you to put my coat by the door, I'm giving you a direction or where to go. So you're looking at what's the preposition. You see that? It's letting you know where. So all these things they give you, and they use all these big words, and you don't wonder why. But these are ways they trip you up. How important is that? I know if I ain't stupid. Whether you taught me a preposition now, if you told me to sit it by the door, I know where the door at. Right. But see, now I make you look stupid because you don't know what a preposition is. See, now your kid is going to be labeled dumb. How many of y'all kids got to be taught the word preposition to know to go? If you say go put this on him by the, or go and get my cup off the counter. And your kid standing there like, what? I don't know what a preposition is. I don't know what a count at. This is how they trip us up every time. Because no one sits down to make sure we comprehend. I tell just like religion, all these people do is teach you to recite. That's all they had. Mary had a little lamb, his feet were white as snow. Everywhere Mary went, the lamb should have gone. Then nobody starts. First of all, it's fleece. It's the skin. I thought the thing was talking about the feet. And the folk, nobody stopped us and said, that's not his feet. They're talking about fleece. I'm like, fleas? The thing got fleas? They're like, how many of y'all said Mary had a little lamb, feet were white as snow? And people heard, they could have stopped and said, no, never told, no. But they taught you things, they just let you recite it and go all those years the wrong way, and then when somebody come to correct you, you're trying to figure out, huh? A lot of things they give is to trip you up. All right? Yes, sir. So our goal is to try to teach them kids. So that's one of the words y'all learned since y'all just learned that preposition. Y'all young people got that? So tell me what preposition is. Stand up. Let me see. Who is it? Hold on. Stand up. Who? Oh, my turn. Alan, man, you know, now, how many times I told you I don't like you, man, you don't get along? Good. We don't like each other. So how many? So how you supposed to have the answer? Tell me what it is. If you ask somebody. Under the seat. Over the wall. Do this. Go get that broom and sweep you out of here. He said, well, under the seat. Well, you could use that. It is. Under. So those are. So y'all young people, y'all understand that? All right, well, give me a preposition. I tell you what y'all do now since we said it. I want you to give me a writing where something was used to give you direction from the book. Think about it. Where in at, Mr. Quota? You already working on it? Y'all got that? All right, let's see. We're gonna erase this out. We're gonna try to move forward. Y'all see anything talk about the struggle of the so-called Negro? See that? We're moving on, ain't it? I'm still for the make it. Oh, yeah, I'm not fine. That's not what they at. We're not doing that. Cause I'm real serious about the plight. I really am. So I don't learn. Listen, y'all. I done seen y'all. I done picked up y'all energy. That's not something I'm gonna fight people for. I'm really not, cause that's something you gotta want to do for yourself. I'm just gonna take me and the 5 black people in the whole world that's saying we're gonna change it. And when we change it, y'all come see us later. But I'm not finna try to keep fighting on that situation. That dog that won't hunt. If you listen, it make no sense. You can't make people do nothing. Everybody in life had to make decisions for themselves where they at and how comfortable you are with things the way they are. And it's part of the program. I mean, you've been programmed enough to where you're good. You have to be good because you had nothing to do anything different. Hello? It's just like a woman, if she's sitting in a relationship and she complains about a relationship, the man beats on her, he cheats on her, and she has a problem with it. How bad is the problem? How bad the problem? It can't be too bad, she's still there. So I don't used to keep sitting around complaining about this situation. It can't be too bad, we still in it. So it's just better just suck it up, just take it like it is, and just I'm not satisfied with it. I'll show y'all, I'll work to make changes. I am for, the disclaimer will never change me, I am for the liberation of my people religiously and other ethnic groups. So once I get y'all free, me and Mr. Yahusha and Yahusha come see us, and it's going to be a charge on it too. You can't come on this side for free now. I got to charge you. White man been taxing you the whole time you been here, and you ain't going to get no free ride with us. All right? All right, we'll get ready to sign the Kato Sarah. All right. Did my young people write down their word? Did y'all write down the word? Well, we'll look at a preposition phrase. It's just giving you the direction of where. Preposition, where it be P-R-E. P-R-E. Y'all ain't wrote it down yet? You think what? Now put up prepositions so they can say P-R-E-P-O-S, P-O-S-T-I-O-N, preposition. You said I-T-I-O-N. Didn't I say that? T-I-O-N. I thought I did. T-I-O-N. Oh, I forgot an I. Oh, yes, position. Preposition. Yeah, it would pretty much let you know about a noun. It'll typically follow a noun. Well, I'm sorry, leading to a noun. If I told you to set something by the door, so the door will be the noun. Yes, sir. You got your answer? All right, well, hold on, we're going to get it. He's going to give us a writing for preposition. I want my young people to get it. So what we're going to do, most high willing, every week we're going to introduce a word to y'all, some of y'all vocabulary, so you'll have an understanding. When these people, this is something we need to do. If we're going to get them advantage, which is superior to their position, we have to start teaching them where they get a command, they understand why certain things are done when they say it. Don't let them throw you because they use these phrases or, use these statements and you get afraid. You know, oh, I can't, and it sounds larger than what it is. You know what I'm saying? This is how they get us every time. I'm telling you, they design the English language. This formed from the Greek. Most of the things they'll get from Greeks, other different things they'll get, and they'll use it to govern their speech, and they let you know it's part of a speech and how they design things. You know what I'm saying? And this is not your culture, so why would I know it off the rip? How much are they going to teach you about it? Exactly. It's not your culture. Why would I teach you about it? So most of the things you're going to know about things are going to be surface. We don't really know a lot of things in depth. Even with our religion, about ourselves, we don't know in depth. We just know, even the book declares we know how. And how do we naba? But that which is Talmud is calm. So they say, now that sounds like something, the problem they got with that which is in part be done away. It's like he getting rid of something, or will it be completed? Because if I know in part, and I naba in part, then when that which is, when Talmud is come complete is come, then that which in part be done away, which means, guess what? I won't have the gaps. All I need is something to fill in the gaps. But the way it's being stated, it sounds like, guess what? All this is gone. It's not gone. Now it makes sense. This is the missing puzzle. Just like when they put Yahusha, when they put him on the two, what do they have on the side of him? Two parts. How do we naba? How do we do what we said? What he said we do? Who? No. How do we know? So then he came in the middle, and what did he tell us at the end of his move, before he moved? See that? That's all it is. But the way they'll tell you things, they'll mess you up. And you'll always think something's been gotten rid of. For those y'all in the thread, all y'all do is take a picture. Somebody take a picture, they can shoot in the thread. If y'all wanted, you could save it. But that's it. We just kind of want to watch how things work. Let's see something. Let's get our start. Romans 15:4, since we kind of said that. 15:4, Romans. Listen.
For whatever Nikatam before.
So for whatever was written before was
Nikatam Talamadus.
Let's hold something for a second. All right, let's go ahead. Come no. I'm sorry. Come on.
So that through endurance,
going through without giving way,
and through the nakum of the Ketubim,
the comfort of the writing,
we might have tikva.
And I told you I read it because I want to know what I'm doing, where I'm going. Because if I get off, then I got to consider where I started at. That's all you want to do. That's what we were supposed to do when we gave the tour. The tour is set there for a reason. We start talking about and looking at preposition, we'll look at the tour because it gives us direction and instructions. All right, it guides us to where we're going. It gets us to the noun. Our goal is to get to his malkuth. His malkuth will be the noun. So they told us that the preposition typically leads toward the noun. Y'all got it? Or the pronoun, they do the I or she versus using the noun, using the name of. So now we understand how this works with them. See, you gotta look at something. This is what hurts us. When we are reading, we don't understand. These people got codes the whole time you're writing. The whole time they're writing, everything is coded. Y'all know that? Look at, okay, when you go and they got people, have you took billing and coding? Did y'all write like this? Like whatever was written before? Or y'all use certain numbers to how you code things, you put it? Certain numbers, how you learn how to code. They do too. People don't know these numbers have values to them. These letters have values to them. These people code. Okay, these people have no idea. This stuff is coded. Think about this. You're hitting computer keys that you think in letters. You think those letters are in that computer? You're hitting letters, you're tapping the letter. Those are codes that is actually pushing, they're making produce those letters on that screen. You just don't know it. You think you're actually hitting A is in it. No, it's a code you just hit. Everything you're doing is coding. Everything is coded. Sometimes they'll use what they call, let me see, color coded. Wow. They'll color code things. Like, let me see, the nigga. You're color coded. You hear them tell them, it don't matter if you black, red, white, or green. Why they say, where you seen a green person at? When you ever seen a yellow person and a red person? Because they color coded you. They taught everything's coded. And that's what we're trying to do. Now we had to come along, you got to decode. I want us to be able to get deeper into our language, but to be honest, we speak English and we ain't understood it. Yeah. So now you're trying to go and unravel another system that's been coded, it's been covered up by their system. So if you don't understand their system, how proficient are you going to be to go back into your own system? Okay. I'm trying to tell you. Can we just, since we read that, let me see that 13 and 4 of the book of Abari. We're going to look at it from the James, and we're going to look at how he wrote it from here. How about that? Can we do that? Abarim, they're called Hebrews. So it could be Abari. Abarim is plural, which refer to our people, so we know who the book is to. If it's Abarim, certainly it's written to the Abarim people. Let's see. Listen there. Now, James says different. Marriage is honorable in who?
Oh.
And the marriage bed is to be
Undefiled.
But now, let's see how James said it, please. Now, and then we'll come back and look at that. Well, I appreciate you getting better because I know Dwight, he get it going. Dwight, you got a lot of people scared of you. That's going to stop. How many of y'all tired of being afraid? Y'all want to go to Mal? Cool. How many of y'all go to Mal? See, Bossy stood up. You can't keep making people afraid. Him and Hayward. All right, look at him. What James? Is this James, right? James? Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed. Tell me this the same statement. Marriage honorable in all, and the bed, this dewy realm. So you can see where this mean, this mean, and you think about this, y'all how many people, married people, invite other people into their bedroom and they get in the bed, and consciously looking at the bed is undefiled if you're married. But it doesn't make sense. Let's see the statement again from the Abarim, from the Beth HaMashiach. Look, marriage is honorable in all, meaning marriage is respectable, and the marriage bed, when you marry, is to be for who? Fornicators, which will be Zanu, and adulterers, Elohim shall judge. That's telling you not, you ain't got no business in no bed with nobody else's wife, and you ain't got no business in no bed with nobody if you ain't married. But that other one said that marriage is that the bed undefiled if you married, and it reads in a way that people thinking that whatever you do in the bed is okay. He just told you not to defile the bed, because there are things you can do that can be defiled. Now, since we read that, let's see the 49th chapter before we read that. See the 49th chapter of the book of Rashid. Hey! Hey! That echo back in here. I think they just locked it back out. Y'all heard it too? Yes, sir. What it was, 13 and 4? This is Rashid. Now this is in the beginning. Let's see what happened. How about that? Listen.
Then Yaakov Yahweh unto his Beni and said, assemble yourselves that I may tell you what shall befall you in the last Yamin.
So let me ask y'all a question. What would that make his father? A Nabal. That's right. What they would call a prophet, because he's finna tell them what's going to happen. This is what he's going to tell them what's going to befall them this in the last Yamin. And you know what's amazing about that? Let me see what happened. Let me see something. At the 12th, see if that's 24, 24, 5, 4, 22, 24. Matthew 24 and 1. Right quick. Let me see something. Matthew, we'll come back. Let me see. Go ahead.
And Yahusha went out from the Makdash to go on his Darak, and his Talmudim approached him to show him the buildings of the Makdash.
Y'all hear that? Because you got to remember, you got different parts to it, saying different buildings. You see how they talk about the porch and different places like that. You had different sections to it. Because remember, when you talked about, he told you in the, the 9th chapter of the book of, in the 9th chapter of the book of Abarim, he started telling you about the different places. The first place where they were called a sanctuary. And he talked about we had the shewbread up place. Then you had the Kodash of Kodash, that they'll call the holiest of holies, which only one can enter in. So they started to show him the different buildings. Come on.
And Yahushua answered and said to them, do you see all these things? Truly I say to you, Aman, I say to you, there shall not remain here one Aban upon another Aban that shall not be torn down. Come on. He sat down on the har of Olives, Zethum. His Talmudim approached him alone and said, tell us, please, when shall this be? And what is the odds of your coming and the odds of the end of the age?
Sound familiar? See, Yaakov called his Benin. He had 12 of them. You ain't going to believe it. Yahushua had 12 Talmudim. And get what he was getting ready to tell them? What was going to happen in the end of the days. You see that? You see the similarities?
Yes, sir.
Let's go back at 49 again. 49 and 1. Or Barashit, that they call Genesis. All right, listen.
Then Yahweh unto his Beni and said,
For y'all, the Yahweh is called. Come on.
assemble yourselves, that I may tell you what shall befall you in the last Yamin.
Listen.
Gather together and Shammah, O Beni of Yaakov, and Shammah to Yasharal your Abba.
Listen. Listen with the intent. Come on.
Reuben, you are my firstborn.
And so, who can guess what his name is? What his name means? How about my young people? Can y'all guess what his name means? Who is that? Let me see if somebody got it first. If they, I got you. I see. Let me see if somebody got it here. What y'all got? Anybody here got it? Hands. Let me see. Anyone of y'all got it? Okay. What would you guess, or what do you know his name means? Reuben. All right, y'all ain't got no idea? All right, I'm going to start getting him on the front row again. All right, I got Ian out there. Ian, tell him what it means. Think about the Ra. Remember the Rosh? Can we see the Aleph Bet? So you look when they speak, they tell you the name. It's important to know that. So let's look at something. Can we see the Aleph Bet? So let's start looking at what they put together, okay? Let me see, the Rosh. What happened? The Rosh, which is the head of a man, the head. Look, first, the Rosh, okay? So these are the characters that they use to formulate his name, the Rosh. So this is for first, the head, the top or beginning. Like we said, Ba. So the first or in the beginning. Y'all see how it makes sense? The Rosh. Now we're going to go and we're going to look at the Beth. Beth. Tent. We know that's the tent plan, which is this is the design of it. And it's what? The family, the house, and inn. So we know that this has a correlation to family. Now we're going to look at the noon. We just passed the noon. Noon. The noon. This is the seed. Okay? The seed, continue, a heir, a son. Y'all got it? So we put the Rosh, the first, then we're going to take the Beth, which is the family. We're going to look at the noon, and now we're going to get the seed, heir, and the son. Okay? So we spell his name, R-A, was it R-U-B-N. We can spell that way. They spell Reuben, Ben, because they don't really put a middle in the end, E in the middle of it. You can just do it, B-N. So we take the Rosh, which is the first. We take the Beth, which is the house, and we take the noon, which is the son. So we know that the son, the first son, is the inheritor. That's why he's talking, because he's talking, when he gathered all of them together, look who name he called first. Reuben, which makes sense. He told him, you are my firstborn, which means he will have to be the who? The heir. He's got to be the heir. That's who comes into possession. That's why I'm talking to you first. This is the correlation. This is why when you look at Yahusha looked at all this. Y'all have to look at all this stuff. This man, look at when Adam was here. What did Adam get? Guess why? He was his first son down here. He was the Rosh. He was the first man, right? Which means it made sense why he inherited the gun. It was his by birthright. Y'all see what I'm saying? These things are important. That's why I say the difference you get with the English when they tell you something, you're just reciting something. Here, you're actually getting to look at how they put the characters together. This was their conversation. They looked at the son. This is why you have a son. That seed that produced that son, making him the heir, can continue the lineage. What good if I got something, I get it. Bryce got it, after him it dies. Guess what happened? Deuce. You got Austin. Who you got? Then you got AJ. So guess what? That's the important. These are inheritors. So now it continues through them. That's how you look at the word. When they tell you something, we don't know what that stuff means. But when we look at it from him, it makes sense. Like they told you, white people they spelled Benjamin Franklin. But for us, Benjamin, it means this is the son of my days. So Yahusha actually was Benjamin. Because this was the son of his days. Let me see something. 8th chapter of the book of Marshall Lee. They call it Proverbs. So it was that 8 and about 22. Come on. And we'll look up what a Marshall Lee is, please. Marshall Lee. Can we do that? While we're going here. See, your books, your Sefer, your book scroll, that's what a Sefer is, scroll of books. Your books are titled for a reason. When you go in the library, they'll put things, they'll have fiction, non-fiction. Why do y'all think they do that? So it gives you a direction on where you're looking for something. You know, why would I be looking for truth in fiction?
Right.
Why would I be looking in cartoons for biographies? This doesn't even make sense. So when people read it, you know, they say, what I need to read? Just read the Bible. It makes no sense. You need preposition. You need direction on where to go. You see what I'm saying? That's the important. That's why people never get anywhere. First they fall off in the book of what they call a book of songs. This is a praise. You see what I'm saying? I need to know where to go and where I need to be seeking. Mashal, there's another word to liken. This is where some of that come from. Resemble. Use figurative language. An allegory. How many of y'all don't know what an allegory is? An allegory is kind of set in a sense, representing something to truth. I tell another allegory. Adam, he was an allegory. Because he was the figure of the thing to come. Even if you look at, when the book tells us in the book of, I think in the 10th chapter, book of Abarim, it told us the Torah. What was it going to call it? Or what was it? So if it was a shadow of things to come, it reflected out, in a sense, it worked as an allegory. Y'all got it? It wasn't the exact thing, but it kind of gave you a premonition to what it was, or gave you a perception to what it was. Y'all got it? So we start looking, even when it came down to tell us about Asu, and then it came down to telling us about, Jerusalem. I think it gave those two parallels. It told you about these were allegory. Because one gender to bondage, and one gender to strife. Y'all got what I'm saying? When you look at the Torah, what happened? Think about it. When you look at Asu, and you look at Jacob, who they call Jacob. Asu they call Ishmael. No, I'm sorry, not Ishmael, but Esau. So when you look at those two, look at how they wind up being together. What wind up happening? What wind up happening when they were together? Heel catcher. Supplant, overtake. What wound up happening when they were together? How about they worked against each other? You don't find where they worked together. They did not work together. Which means one gender to strife. It came to strife. He wanted to kill his brother. One took from the other. You see what I'm saying? So using that, we understood and knew how to differentiate the difference between Khan and the Torah. Because they gender strife toward one another in a sense. Think about it. After he realized that Jacob had taken everything he had, what did he want to do? Kill him. What happened to the people under the Torah? They wound up dying, so it gendered to strife. It became to be the same thing. It wound up being a situation where he wound up having to kill people. So he used those scenarios or those situations so you would understand it better. That these two had to wind up being divided. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. So what is that? Figurative, allegory, adage. We'll look up adage. Let me see the adage. Oh, these are a story, a poem, or a picture. That, listen, that can be interpreted to reveal a what? Wow. Wow. You see that? It's important for you to know this stuff. Y'all young people, y'all write it down, you'll understand it. When people use words, you don't want people to keep going over your head. Somebody stamping a picture to put it in the thread for anybody who want it. It's important for you to know that because, listen, people just told us stuff. We just went and we just took it up. Somebody probably really thought they said all the glory. Let me tell you what happened. Think about this. Let's be honest. When you don't know, you left to the imagination. Don't be stupid. This is how they make you feel dumb. You didn't know that you're dumb. I'm not dumb. I can learn it. Nobody knows everything. When I learn it, then I have an understanding. I can grow. But when I don't know, then I'm limited. If I don't know what, they break it down. If I don't know, and I just look and say, that's, like all the glory belongs to the Lord. That's all they're saying. You know what all the glory is, right? You got to give him all the glory, all the praise, all the. So I came from under preach. They didn't know. They were ignorant. Like one of them, I told y'all years ago, he wasn't there when I was there, but he did a lot of damage. He would never go preach anywhere other than there because he said, because he read that Shaul said that whatever state you're in to be content. He said that all the preachers who had left from Georgia and they were going to Alabama, they were going to Tennessee preaching, he said every one of them were disobedient. He said because the Bible said whatever state you're in, therewith be content. But Shaul if he read the book clear to, I learned how to be full, I learned how to be hungry. I learned how to be abased, I learned how to be exalted. He said, whatever state I'm in, I learned to be content. When he heard state and content, he automatically meant if you leave from the state you're in and go preach somewhere, you disobeying, you ain't obey the book. Now, you can be honest, but you hurt people because you don't have understanding. You just read it. Another one taught, and he was living, I was there with him, he used to teach, like when people going to picket line, he said you couldn't be no bishop. He said because the Bible said a bishop can't be no striker. I'm telling you, he taught that. He said he preaches out here, talking about they're a bishop out on the picket line. Said the Bible said you ain't supposed to be no striker. I said, God. Yes, sir. But y'all got to remember, though, now we can laugh about it. When people taught us, they didn't know. You see what I'm saying? That's the detriment of having people, and they'll get, like, it's a lot of them hate me, older preachers hate, you know why? Man, he in there preaching a dictionary. The words you're reading can be located and defined. Don't you need to know what they mean so you can know what you're saying, what the intent is? Because this gives me my direction. If I don't know, I'm just left to my imagination. Look, you take out the stupidity. We lost a lot of time as a people when it comes down to knowledge because preachers have been afraid of this. Bab, you was at your dad's church growing up. You could have came out there and said, let's drop this down and start looking up these words. What would happen? That's it. You gone. Nobody played. You went to Baptist church growing up? Or what do you think would have happened? You just said, well, let's pull out a dictionary and look at these words so we'll just know for sure what it means. Them folks said, that's the devil. I'm telling you, old people were bad about it. They'll put, listen, because they was afraid. That's not their comfort zone. We start looking at these words, so I'm going to have to change my whole message. Them guys spent days. Listen, I'm a preacher. Saturday afternoon, they be there all night going through the Strongs and reading the Bible, get their message ready. They just ain't never been my stuff. I mean, that's people's thing. That's what you do. That's just say my thing. And doing everything I'm doing, this is something we never used no screens and no boards or bringing stuff in. They put a lot of people in comfort. Because now you got to put your work up. First I go, oh, the Spirit just told me to. You can play game. Now when it's stuck on that board and people got these phones, if you ain't putting it, then they're going to tell you, everybody using their phone going to hell. They got to get you off. If they see everybody looking, they say, oh, this is wrong. Now you got to tell you, everybody using them phone going to hell. Y'all think Jesus had a phone? Then they make you feel bad. Now they're going to make you feel bad. They got to cut the phone off. Because and I'm going to tell you something. It is. You're being put out your comfort zone. And the problem is preachers limit people from growing. When you leave yourself stuck in that old way, you limit people from growing. How this going to hurt us? Anything we've been doing wrong, if we go and we find that it was wrong, we correct it. That means the word is working. He said all Ketuvim, all writings were given and inspired by Elohim. And it's profitable for correction. It's profitable for teaching. It's profitable for instruction, for reproof, for correction, so you can be complete. So when we go and we read and say, man, how about that, y'all? We've been wrong. Let that break up and split, because now we done failed. No, that means the word is working. That's what he said for. It's for find out you were wrong to get it right.
That's right. That's right.
Y'all got it. So in a sense, we'll look at it as a preposition, because it's it's moving us into a direction towards something, toward his malkuth, a noun. Y'all got it? Or it could be a pronoun. That'll be your I and she, versus using the name. You'll just use a I or a he or a she. All this stuff they give people, it's just to mess people up. They don't really want you to learn nothing. They just want you to know enough where they'll still keep command over you. I'm telling you, everything that you'll think people taught you, they didn't teach you nothing. Y'all went to college. Who did all the looking and researching and writing? The professor or you? And you thought they taught you something. How I taught you something? I just had you go write an 8-page paper. Who did all that work? 5 pages. And you think they taught you something? You know how stupid you are? They didn't teach you nothing. They just sent you on an explorer, an expedition. Sometimes they don't even check the junk. Run through and just mark. Listen, there's no way I got 30 people that wrote a 5-page paper, 1,000 words, and I read every one of them. I'm skimming through marking because I know what I'm looking for. They can catch you easy. I can catch. It's not hard to catch you. I'll catch you at the start and I run through your body and I catch your conclusion. I'm not going to read all that junk. It's easy to time. These folks ain't got no better sense. It's too easy to time you through. Your beginning going to tell me right now. I saw a guy, he told me he wrote a paper. He ain't taking no time. That joker straight through. I caught him at the start. He said, D-Mouse. When he said it, he said, D-Mouse. I said, we should talk like that in the, I asked him what he read. He said, D-Man. D-Man went to, he said, D-Mouse is habitual. I said, stop. Oh, y'all get, what I said? I said, stop it. I said, that whole paper, throw it in the trash. When you start out with habitual, I called it off the real. I said, just stop it. Take that one right there and just, I already know. I ain't got to read no more. He said, you ain't going to believe it. The professor didn't even read the paper. He said, well, that man look at that thing. Listen, another person in his class wrote, I must be excused as I am inhospitalized. I said, what? I said, what he at? As I am inhospitalized. You know you can't write that in college. You can't write that in the 5th grade. As I am inhospitalized. I said, you know what? The teacher didn't grade none of them papers. F. He said, I'm going to read that paper. He said, don't read that one. But typically, that's how they get you. A lot of y'all, they'll run you through the work because they're looking at this. If I gave you a 500-word, 1,000-word essay to write, or gave you a subject to write about, you will assume I'm going to read it. I'm not going to read it all. I'm going to skim through. I'm looking for key bullet points. I'm going to look and pick you up and see that you just got redundant so you can use words. And I scratch off and you're like, man, how they know that? You give yourself away. You like, I give myself away. Just lay on the ground, tell somebody, lay on your back. Somebody tried to finish it up. I heard that guy in the spirit. Look out. Let's see what an adage is. A proverb or a short statement expressing a general. See, this is important because guess what? Your book told you the writing, the sefer, which are the scrolls and the books. They told you this about Yahusha, that he was going to do that. These were key components that you were going to use to identify him. So now we will use this, my young people, as preposition because it's going to put us in it puts us in a direction. That was the whole purpose of telling you that he was going to speak to you how. So if he spoke me in a martial league, what was this going to allow me to do? You said what now? Go put your name on the board. And put a check by it. Because you said it he repeated with confident, like, you know how he said it? He said like he was helping me, Dave. He said, quick understand. Quick understand. Quickly put your name on that board and a check. But no, and the reason why I'm going to show you this, and really want you to look at, because if it gives you direction, if I told you to go and put your coat, thank you. He was going to try to walk out, he had no pen. No, we ain't giving him a thank you. That man don't like you. Isn't that right? My thundering sound was broken and fall of ground. I had to pick up the pieces. Passed on opportunity could have kept me from asking another question. See, that thing, if you think about that, if I had a script, I would be so thrown off with this stuff. You couldn't work. You know what I need to do? I need to invite a preacher in here to write his message up and just let him deal with y'all. Just sit out there and see how he go there. It's going to be so thrown when he see this stuff, he would have asked a question. He done. He going to take that thing and rip it up and say, you'll come back in here and get these people. Thank you. But no, so this is key because, and the reason why I told you it works as a preposition, because this was the only way, these were symbolisms to allow you to know how to identify him. Remember, you're hearing this, right? So when you're hearing it, you need to know what it meant so you can understand. So when you see Yahusha and seeing him, because he stayed around for 33 years, you're going to be seeing him. You're going to see and you're going to get the perception of who he was. The argument was in the 16th chapter book of Matthew, who do they say that I am? Right. Who do they say it? Oh, Yahoo, who they going to call Elijah. Isn't that right? They're going to call Yahoo, who they call Jeremiah. And some say, one of the Nabaim. But what did Cuff say? Who they call Peter? You are the Ben of Elohim. And he told him that he was Baraka, which means a benefit had been bestowed upon him because flesh and blood had not, but my Father which was in. So we're using a preposition because it allowed him to get into a direction. It identified the noun for him. Okay, don't worry about it. I know how they use it. I'm trying to tell you how it works for us from the Ruach end, from the spiritual end. It helped to identify him, which means the only way the Father could identify what? The Father just came to him and said it's him, or was his attribute, a lot the attributes that he exemplified. Those attributes were preposition because it put them in a direction to knowing who he was. Right. 129 right quick. Yahusha. We'll come back and finish this up. All my sickos out there, y'all get better. We'll harp y'all and miss y'all. Porky Mike been sick way too long. You know he's gonna take it. He's gonna take that Ted White by the end of February. I was negative. Somebody sent me a copy of the 3 Little Pigs. I didn't know it was a 4 pig. Said Mike ate up the other 3 pigs. Oh, that's terrible, lady. This 129. Let's see what happened. Listen.
And it came to pass on the morrow, Yahusha saw Yahusha coming to him and said,
what did he say?
Behold, the Lamb of Elohim, who bears the kata of the alarm.
What did he tell him?
This is the one of whom I said, after me shall come an Ish that is before me, for he was prior to me.
So let's hold on, come on, hold on for a minute. So now he tell you, this is the one of whom I said. So we'll look at this in a sense as a prepositional phrase in a sentence, simply because now he's giving them direction. People didn't know who he was before. Now he just pointed to him, and then he starts to rationalize the reason why. This makes sense for us, doesn't it? If preposition by their definition is a word that more or less give you a direction, when he just told us this was him, and now he's defining the reason to it. He said, because he was the one that was before me. Yeah, you got to mess yourself. First of all, Yahusha was older than him biologically. Okay? So this is something people had to really sit back and kind of contemplate in their mind. Okay? Here you tell me about a man that you saying that was before you, but biologically, you're older than him. which means he had to exist before that time period. Y'all got what I'm saying? And he made that in statements that he said. When he told them before Abraham was. Their argument was he wasn't even 50 years old. They were trying to figure how would this man know Abraham based off of his, what they'll see, we don't use their chronological age. We don't use chronological simply because the Greeks, they use chronos, the Greek god of time. See, that's why you had to watch, they look at their books of chronicle. See, they label stuff. These are labels that they use to get you. Because why would they use that name title in your book? Y'all got it. It's Greek telling you this is how they keep up with time. That's why they say we sit here. What happens when you're having fun? Time does what? They believe that wings are on time. And time actually, these are the people think. All your universities, there's not a university that don't have Greek philosophy in it. That doesn't happen. It's in psychology. It's in everything you got. The Greeks are masters of deception. This is how they get us on everything we get. They give you a whole book. You're going to say, go through your book of Chronicles. So you don't think they played with it and they gave it titling? So we have to go back. Our book is actually called Dabari HaYamim, which means it's the matter of the day. We can go back to look at the matter of what happened in those matters. That's what our titling is. They'll have you going looking in Genesis, Greek again. We don't know what Genesis. For us, it's Barashit. It means in the beginning. So you go back and look what? He told you to repent and do what? Let's go back to Barashit. See that? Go back to the, so now I start to recollect and recall based off of the titling of my writings. That's how we look for things. If I'm going to go back and do my first, I need to go back and start looking at from the beginning. I don't want to go through no Genesis. I can go, if I want to find out different things that happen with different Mal-Akim, which are emperors, that he's going to tell you kings, I'm not going to look through no Chronicles, no Greek God. I'm going to look back. Let me go back and see the matter of the day. What happened during this matter? That's right. So I can go back and I recall different things. Right. I want to know about, right, in 1 Thessalonians 4 and 7. What does it say? Elohim has not what? Elohim has not what? Called us unto who? Uncleanness. But now he said in his writing, 1 Thessalonians by Shaul, who they call Paul, that Elohim had not called us to uncleanness, but he called us to Kadash, which is separation. You ain't going to believe it. Where am I going to look at? I'm going to look in the book of Psalms. Why would I look in the book of Psalms that they call it? He didn't call me that. That's a book of praise. I'm going to look in the book of Yahusha that he calls Leviticus, which makes no sense because that's when he called me and he designated behaviors he wanted me to have. Remember the 18th chapter? He said, after the doing of Mizraim, ye shall not do. So that makes sense when I'm reading what they call the New Testament. Because when I go through the book where he called me, I can verify that. It can be verified. Shaul tell me, I just say my human flesh said, I don't believe that, whatever. I can go and I can verify it to see. He actually said, you shall not do these things. He gave me my diet. You shall not eat these things. So all these things put direction on what I'm supposed to do, or it validate the statements that I read from the Shalachims, which are the sent one versus them calling some apostle. These guys lie. An apostle, someone was taught by Jesus, or somebody was with Jesus. This is dumb. Because first of all, Jesus is a lie. There's no Jesus. And these guys were never told. They were called Shalachim. A Shalachim is a sent one. Now, they're going to go and they're going to sit and try to tell you that Yahusha taught Shaul. Now, this is a very crazy statement that you made out your mouth that you cannot verify. He revealed to him what things he's going to suffer. He never told you he taught Shaul nothing. Shaul clearly told you he was taught the perfect law at the manners of the father, after the manner of the fathers. But see, this is how they get around with lying and just, it makes, how about this? How about we look it up and say? That's all I got to do is find it. It ain't that hard. Let's see 9:15 Acts of the Shalakim. These guys, that's how I know they ain't sin. First of all, you wouldn't be walking around with this fake title. An apostle? They got it from the Catholic Church. And then they're going to holler, and they got the nerve to condemn the Catholic Church, and your title is after the Catholic Church. That's what, y'all don't know, the apostle. They'll tell you, that's what the Pope named him, apostle. Yeah, they'll use apostle with them. This ain't nothing. I don't know why these niggas think they done invented nothing. The Catholic Church used these titles. Let's see. 9:15, Acts of the Shalakim, and that means a sent one. Listen.
But the Adon said to him, Go, for he is a chosen vessel
I'm
unto
sorry,
me.
take me up to 9:6, 9:5. What is it, 9:5? I bet I want a 9:6. Which one is it? I used to remember all this stuff. I've been with y'all. I had to give up memory for remembering that for understanding. Because just going reciting some verses ain't going to get you nowhere. I really have understanding. I used to know what side of the page it fall on. Man, I used to be good with that. But you start going back and you start realizing all that stuff was written so incorrectly. It's just so incorrect how it written. And it hurt people because in their mind they running, they feel like they standing on something, and you're not standing on nothing solid. And when it get tested, it coming down. Let's say. This is 95. Listen.
And he said, Who are you, my Adon?
Mm-hmm.
And the Adon said, I am Yahusha, whom you are persecute.
Uh-huh.
It is hard for you to kick against the stake.
And they said it prick. Mm-hmm.
He, trembling and being astonished, said, My Adon, what shall you have me to do? And the Adon answered, Come and go into the city, and you shall be told what you have to do.
He said, My Adon, teach me the Bible. He just asked that man, what he just asked that man? What you want me to do?
That's right.
That's how he asked the man, what you want me to do?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff these people have told her, it sounds good. And the man was a Shalakim, they're going to call apostle. A lot of stuff these people saying, you really have to investigate. They're not honest. They don't care. They don't want to care about no truth. They want to justify a lie.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
See, let's go back down to 14 now. Was it 14 you reading? 14, 15?
15.
15? All right, listen.
But the Adon said to him,
Mm-hmm.
Go, for he is a chosen vessel unto me, to bear my Shem before the Goim and Malakim, and before the Beni of Yasharal.
Mm-hmm.
For I shall show him how much he has to suffer because
I'm going to teach him the word?
For I shall show him how much he has to suffer because of my Shem.
This sound like him teaching him? Or he's telling that man, I'm going to show you what you're going to wind up suffering for my Shem. Because now you're going to become a defender of, and not a persecutor of. See, he persecuted the Shem. Y'all got to remember something when you start dealing with this book. This is my part in it, okay? When you start to look at the book, what they call Acts of the Apostles, y'all got to remember something. This is in the first formulation these people actually setting this thing up, okay? So a lot of things left in question. A lot of things were left in question. A lot of things weren't complete. This man knew the Torah. It's just finding where he fit in it. A lot of people just didn't expect the Son of God to come in the flesh. A lot of things people just didn't see it actually happen to that magnitude. So when Yahusha left, a lot of things were still incomplete for them. A lot of things were trial and error for them. Just like when it came down about the Gentiles, they called the Goim being circumcised. If Yahusha had cleared it up, it wouldn't have been no reason for him to meet about it. Because when Yahusha was here, you ain't going to believe it. He taught the law.
Yes, sir.
I don't know where nobody get. What else could he have taught? He was under the law. Galatians 4:1 tell you that when the fullness of time was come, Elohim sent his son. How was he made? He was made of a woman, and he was made under the law. If you're under something, what does that mean? Something is over you. Why would I be teaching something that against something that's over me? This would be a form of sedition. People run so fast and they get to going. A lot of things these people had to really put into play. If everything was clear, let's see, in the 15th, you don't have to get it, the 15th, 16th chapter of the book of Mark, he told them to go in all the, what was that again? The arise, the world. It'll be alarm, going all the world. And what were they supposed to do? Teach the who? Teach the tube news. And he that believeth and is immersed shall be, and he that don't among shall be So why was it hard for Cuff to realize he needed to preach to Cornelius? Because what were their instructions before that? They were only supposed to go to the house of Yahusha. Why would it make sense they would be teaching to other people? He was going to be able to tell them that during that time under the Torah? Cuff clearly told y'all in the 10th chapter that it was unlawful for them to go to any other nation. Why would he be saying that when the man told him to go into all the world and preach to everybody? Which means he couldn't have said that. He was talking about all of the lost sheep of Yahusha. That makes no sense. That would make no sense. There would have been any discussion about it. Why would it be something that you had to sit down and say it was hard for you to look at coming in there? Why would he have to send a sheet down knitted at four corners to convince you to go and speak to somebody when you were clearly told to go into all the world and preach to everybody? Because he didn't say that. He been wasting so much time trying to just stop it. And they try to make it like these guys disobedient. They're not disobedient. You got to remember, he was under the Torah. Let me see. Let me see what it says. See if that 10:24 of the book of Matthew. I'm sorry, you're ooking on right quick. Let me just see something. Let's see what kind of people we're dealing with. See, everybody, they keep trying to run all over the place and keep trying to justify something, and they don't take time to consider. A lot of things couldn't have been told because of the time. What's that, 10:24? I'm saying, maybe 30, 34. We got to read now. Let's see. Listen.
The Yahudim surrounded him and said to him, how long shall you keep our Kai in suspense?
Listen.
If you are the Mashiach, say it now so we can shama with our own ears. Yahusha answered them, I have told you, but you did not amon me. The works that I do in the Shem of Abi, they testify of me.
So meaning what happened now? The ox were actually a preposition. If they bear witness of him, that identifies who he was. That identifies where you need to go, who you need to follow. So the ox will be considered prepositions. Are y'all with me? These will be considered prepositions. He just told them. They asked him a question. How long? Won't you just tell us plainly? He said, well, if you look at the preposition. Look at what's guiding you to me. The signs or the works I'm doing, they identify who I am. Okay. Or we'll say, in a sense, they will work as an adjective. Hello? All the adjective do is just more or less identify it now. If I told you to go out to the car and get something, I hadn't told you which car. There's a lot of cars out there. If I told you it's a white car, then I reduced it. I made it minor. So it's not so vague. So the ox made it where it wasn't so vague. They knew who he was. Okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Listen, if you don't know how to use your book, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it out here, folks. That's just being honest. You need to understand your book. He just told them. They wanted him to tell them plainly. He said, well, start looking at the adjectives. Look at these things. These things identify. It reduced me. It reduced down to it's no more an issue where we got to keep searching through trying to find. Pay attention to the signs. They give you the direction to who I am. Hello? Okay. Let's see. Come on.
But ye did not amon me, but ye did not amon because ye are not of my sheep.
See that? Let me get this straight. These people right here with him now, and these people didn't believe us. How well they going to work with some folk that ain't his people? These are people asking him questions. They ask, we don't know what to call you. They asking if you be the Mashiach, which means they had knowledge of there was an anointed one that he had chosen to rule over them based off of Daud, because Daud was anointed and he became the Malak over Yasharal, who were first the Malak over Yehuda. So they're asking because if you're the Mashiach, that means you're going to be over us, and we can only know that because we know the word. And now he just told them they not of his sheep. If you didn't believe what you know, so how am I going to get somebody to believe that know nothing? It makes no sense to go and preach to everybody. You don't know nothing. Come on.
Just as I have said to you, my sheep Shama my call, and I know them, and they follow after me. I give Alam Kai to them, and they shall not perish for all Alam. No one shall snatch them out of my hand.
And they were concerned about their life. Remember they were asking him about that? How long he going to keep their Kai in suspense?
That's
They
right.
want to know about their life being kept. He told them they follow him. Listen, and nobody can take them out, and nobody can take them from me.
That's
Come on.
right. The Abba who has given them to
Who
me.
is he denoting himself to? That's tight. It's tight. We ain't going to talk about Daoud, huh? What was Daoud's first occupation before he came Malak over Yehuda? Wow. And what he told you happened when they came to take a sheep? And what did he do? I took them back. So he just told you that nobody can snatch them out of his hand. Who's going to understand this speech? Some people that don't know the word? Or people that are familiar with the writings? Who's going to know what the man said? Who's going to know what his father did? His father kept sheep. And when someone came to take them, I took them back and I slayed them. So he let you know the ones that follow me, they hear my call. Nobody can take them from me. I can defend like the olive. Come on.
The Abba who has given them to me is greater than all. Therefore, no one shall snatch them out of the hand of the Abba.
Listen.
I and Abi, we are one.
Listen.
Then the Yahudim picked up Aban again as before to Aban him.
You said they picked him up the first time. What happened on the first time?
Then the Yahudim picked up the Aban again as before to Aban him.
Listen what happened.
Yahusha answered them, I showed you many two works from the Abba. What work which is of them do you Aban me?
Listen what they told him.
The Yahudim answered him, we do not Aban you on account of a two work,
What happened?
but on account of your blasphemy of Elohim, and in that you, being an Ish, make yourself Elohim.
What happened?
Yahushua answered them, is it not Katab in your Torah? I have said, you are Elohim. See, one to whom the Debar of Elohim comes is Kara Elohim, and the Ketubim cannot be violated.
What happened?
How do you say that the one that the Abba Kodash and sent to the Alam, you are a blasphemer, because I said I am the Ben of Elohim?
I want y'all to just consider something, okay? These people didn't play that. The man just told her that him and the Abba are one. And you saw how they wanted to sit down and start eating with him? They were going to kill him.
That's right.
Where y'all think they were going? He was talking about everybody getting taught the word. Where you think they were going to go when he going to start telling these people that folk didn't have to be circumcised?
Right. That's right. That's right.
Okay, let's look at the 4th chapter book of Oriel. Let's just look. See, these people run through it. They don't know what
Yeah.
they're doing. They just run through. Let's just look. This like, you can't even say you and him one. And you heard they say they did it. That's the first time. This was regular. This is on a regular. Your mouth flop off with us, you finna get it. 4 and 16. Let's see what happened. How about that? Oriel they call Luke. I know we had some other stuff up here. Four and 16. Listen.
He came to Nazareth, where he grew up there, and according to his custom, he went to the bed of Sonagan on the Yom of Shabbat,
Listen.
and stood up to read on the scroll.
Listen.
The scroll of the Nabi Yeshayahu was given to him, and he opened the scroll and found the Malkum where it was Katab on it. The Ruach of Yahuwah is upon me
What happened?
in order to Mashiach me, to bring tube news to the humble.
Listen.
He has shalak me to care for the brokenhearted,
See, he has sent me. That's what it is. I don't know where he got no apostle from. He sent me, shalak me. Listen.
to proclaim freedom for the exiles and for the blind.
Now,
and
let me ask you a question. Who he sent you to do what now? To
Well-
declare what?
for the brokenhearted, to proclaim
brokenhearted.
freedom for the exiles.
I'm sorry. The exile? Hold what you got. Let me see something right quick. We'll come back. Pick that up and see if that's the book of Nakum Yah. Well, look at the first chapter. They'll call it, what do they call the book? Nehemiah. Let's just look at something right quick. These people don't know what they're doing, and they keep running all. It's just like he said, they be dotting to and but they try to be teachers of the law. They don't know what they teach or what they confirm. Nakamyah. I put who? You go ahead and read 1 and 1.
The Dabarim of Nakamyah, the being of Kakalyah. Now it happened in the Yarik Keselu in the 12th Shana, while I was in Shanshun, the capital.
That's in Babylon. That's in the citadel. Listen.
That Kenani, one of my Akim, and he and Anashim from Yehuda came, and I asked them concerning the Yahudim.
You asked them how they were doing it, how was the Americans doing?
I asked them concerning the Yahudim who had escaped, which were left of the captivity, and about Jerusalem.
What do you want to know about the people in England?
Didn't ask about them.
What about the Ukrainians?
No, sir.
The Russians?
No, sir.
I don't know where people get that from. The book was to the exile. Listen to what he said.
And they said to me, the remnant that are left of the captivity there in the province are in great distress and in reproach, and the wall of Jerusalem is broken down, and the gates are burned with fire.
And how the Hivites and them doing? And the Jebusites? What happened?
And it came to pass when I shama these Dabarim.
Listen, it came to pass when I did what?
Shama these Dabarim.
When I heard these Dabarim, what you do?
I sat down and wept and mourned for Yamim. And I was fasting and Palal before all for Elohim
You said
of
for
the
all of them in the
Shamayim.
world? Who's you crying for?
Before the all of the Shamayim.
Before all the Shamayim, what happened?
Mm-hmm. And I said, I beseech you, O Yahuwah, the all of the Shamayim, the great and awesome all who keeps the Berith and Rakam for them.
He got a Berith with everybody else? His Berith, he said, made it with Abraham and with his seed. In the 3rd chapter of the book of Galatians, 3:16, it said, now, let's pick it up right quick, 3:16. We'll come back and care what you got. I want to just get you people to understand something. They don't know what they're doing. They don't have no idea what they're doing. I don't know why people put in their book. This is not their book.
That's right.
Look at the names. There's no book for the Americans.
That's right.
There's no book for none of these people.
That's
the
right.
book is the one group. The only way other people can obtain it, you have to be grafted in. It's only a writing to one set of people.
That's right.
It would make no sense that he would tell you to go and preach to everybody in the world. That's all. Listen.
Behold, the Shabbat word spoken to Abraham and to his seed.
Oh my goodness. You said what? The Shabbat. Who is it to now?
Abraham
To Abraham,
and to his seed.
all his children. That's plural, isn't it? S-E-E-D-S?
To his seed.
S-E-E-D?
Yes, sir.
Period. To the air, the seed, the noon, the air, to the sun. Listen.
He does not say, and to seeds.
Oh, he didn't say that all of them. So it wouldn't make sense for me to go preach to everybody, Lee.
That's
It
right.
was to Abraham and to his seed.
That's right.
That's where the Shabbat was made.
That's right.
The only people I'm trying to reconcile and call into salvation is those that will acknowledge the Son.
Yeah.
That's right.
Because how many not the Son don't acknowledge the Father? You know what they'll do sometime football game, you ain't gonna believe it, Boston. Probably never seen it before. They'll show up, play on the field, and you know they'll put his count, they'll start right and say,
His parents.
his father and mother in the stand.
Yep. That's right. Yes, sir.
Y'all ain't never seen that before.
Yes,
So you know what
sir.
happened? I'm acknowledge the Son, I gotta acknowledge the parent.
Come on. That's right. That's right.
All these stupid religion out here gonna holler. See, I don't acknowledge Yahusha. See, I acknowledge the Father. How can I be a father if I don't have a son?
That's right. That's right.
How much sense that make?
That's right.
You know how dumb people are? See, I don't even call. I just acknowledge the Father. Tell me, how can I be a father? Can somebody tell me? Think about it. Wow. These people say stuff that's so dumb. They don't have to acknowledge the Father. They just acknowledge the Son. Christian church. See, it's just Jesus. No, You have to, if you acknowledge the Son, you have to acknowledge the Father.
That's right.
The Son acknowledged the Father.
That's
in
right.
everything he did.
Yes, sir.
That's why the man told him he was two. What he told him is none good but who?
Elohim.
I'm the Son. I have to acknowledge the Father.
That's right.
I remember they interviewed Kyrie one time. They were asking him about LeBron. They said, "Yeah, LeBron, because he like a father to y'all." He said, "Hold on." He said, "Hold on for a minute." He said, "I have one father." And what did he do? He called his father's name. And they said, having LeBron here like, and he's like a father, y'all. He said, hold on. He said, wait, hold on. I have one father, and he named the father. He like, no, we can't do that. That's what Yahusha was doing. He wanted the father to be acknowledged. That was like, he's a man. He looked at, that's an insult to call somebody that's my father. He's like, that's not my father. So this is how important it is that Yahusha will push to make sure that you recognize his father. Okay, come on.
He does not say and to seeds as of many,
Not to every one of them,
but as to one,
but to one and
to your seed, that is the Mashiach.
that's the people he looked at. Let's go back right quick, see what Nakum y'all said. I just want to make sure y'all understand something. These people make a fool out. They run through the book of Acts of the Charlotte King and they try to get too much information. These people were first assembling.
Yes, sir.
A lot of things were questioned. Why you think they were sitting around here? Okay, in the 7th, 8th, 9th chapter, 9th chapter. Why these folks arguing about if he don't win and everybody equal? Why were they arguing about the Grecian women and the Yahudim women?
That's right. That's
They
right.
should have known off the rip. When Yahusha done sat and took the kid lunch, who was left without eating?
The Greeks.
No. He did it again! That man said the Greeks? No. He made everyone sit down in companies. He fed every one of them because they were all Yehudi. Now, when they first started assembling in about the 8th, 9th chapter, in the 8th chapter of the book of Acts of the Shalakim, you can clearly see he told you there was an argument. Pick it up right quick. We'll pick back up 8 and 1. Yes, sir. Chris, I'm so glad I'm right up now. I'll be so messed up. Thank you. That man said, the Greeks? Remember that time Josh had went and bought that Rosetta Stone? Man, y'all listen. Y'all had to see this guy and they get started. He was so proud that he said, yeah, preacher. He said, I've been studying that. Because it sounded like kind of New York. He said, yeah, got that Rosetta Stone. He's studying that Greek. I speak that Greek. We like, Greek? He said, yeah. So, you know us, we some niggas. So we like, okay. We done call us a Greek restaurant. We said, talk to them. He said, shit of the key. That man said, what? He said, a shit of the key. Man said, what you say? He said, do you speak Greek? We're like, what? He said, do you speak Greek? Like, do you speak Greek? That's English. Man, he was so proud of that Rosetta Stone, he didn't know that man have a 5 more payment. He was going to own it. They seen him coming too, boy. He bought it from a website called 1-800-WE-CAN-SEE-YOU. Look at this. This 6 and 1? Okay, I'm sorry. I said 9. 6 and 1. Listen.
And in those Yamin, as the Talmudim increased,
And listen, the taught ones increased. Listen what happened.
there arose a grumbling of the Hellenistic Yahudim against the Abarim, on which their widows were being overlooked on their eyes, as they are undervalued during the daily distribution.
Hold on for a minute. In the King James Version, it don't say Yahoo, it don't say Hebrew. It say the Greeks. Who got the King James?
This one says
version?
Hellenistic Yahudim.
Hellenistic,
Yahudim.
which is going to be the Greeks converting. So this is going to be Greeks converting. Well, this actually will probably be Greeks converting, will actually be Abarim who were born under Greek rule.
Right.
So this is how they are with their own people now. And these are our people born under the Hellenistic people,
That's
which
right.
the Greeks really named were the Hellenes.
That's right.
Okay? And look at what happened. Come on.
The 12 summoned the multitude of the Talmudim and said, it is not desirable for us to neglect the debar of Elohim and serve tables.
Come on.
Therefore, Akim, you examine from among you 7 anashim, which was good, which was to reputation to them, full of the Ruach HaKadosh and wisdom, whom we shall appoint for this duty. But we shall give ourselves continually to Palal and to the Sharath of the Debar.
And now, you think these people going to be good with going and grabbing some Roman folk and just sit down and we just say, I want to be fair. I want you to have the same thing I got. These people were arguing and fighting against people who were born under Greek rule. And
That's
this is what
right.
he's saying. In the book, I think it said the Greeks, but he's saying the Hellenes born under. And this was an argument, and they had to settle this.
Yes, sir.
How well you think they were going to do with going grabbing other nations and bringing them in? See, they put them, why you think the book is called Acts?
That's right.
So you can see how they were doing. And these guys looked at, listen, we need to keep praying.
Right.
We need more direction. Because when we got Yahusha, we got him under the Torah. When he got up, he was only with us for 40 days. He was not only with us, he only with that because the Torah was still active. After 40 Yamim, the male child can go into the Mashkan. That's why he left us on the 40th day.
That's right.
These people run so fast, and they just grabbing stuff and running and putting stuff together. You got to really take your time when you do it, because you'll really make a mess.
Yes, sir.
A lot of things these people are trying to put together.
That's right.
That man spent more time teaching them Torah than trying to get them to understand it, because time was lacking. Some of this stuff you're going to have to come into knowing. This is what, look at, why were they arguing and having a fight about it? What did Yahudim were looking at? We first. We over anybody. So you think I could have brought them some people from Europe in there and they were going to try to be fair? If I'm like this with all my own people who just born in Greek, what am I going to be with some other people who not? Because they look at who they are. Listen, nobody going to rank over Yehuda. Now they looking at nobody ranking over Yehuda. Now when you read Galatians, Shaul came to give us so much perfect understanding. Because he did place all that stuff. And let us know this thing was only given to one if you come back and really look at it. You can do this however you want to go to. It's only given one. This is to Abraham and to his seed. Isn't that right? And now we come along and look at now how we had to become joint heirs. We can't look at how we had to be grafted in. See, the blood lineage line ain't going to work for them because nobody can prove their blood lineage line. Don't believe nobody. I don't care they over there. They can't prove it. They're going to be telling lies. That stuff, I'm not impressed with nobody their bloodline. None of them can prove it. Don't believe them. I don't care how many curtains they put on their back. These niggas ain't proving nothing. Nigga born at Greater Hospital. You know how many messed up birth certificate they got? They got Carrie born there, and Carrie was born. Carrie hadn't get to the hospital until 7 weeks later when Boston told me. I said, for real? Bobby said, look, preacher. He put that stuff again. He said, look at the timeline. Carrie mama took him to the convenience store. Then they went back, and their family reunion was coming. I said, I ain't never look at it like that, Boston. But Boston be making a lot of sense when he be talking. And they still put on out born at Greater Hospital. Now, they put that on there, and he didn't get it 7 weeks later. You think the rest of these niggas stuff accurate? Y'all stop it. Don't even do it. A lot of we keep running, I'm Yehudi, I'm Yehudi. The book clearly told you that he who is a Yehudi is not one outwardly. So how am I going to put it on my skin? He said, but he's one how? Inwardly. Abraham was justified by his skin. Where was his amanah at? Outside on his skin? That's how you become the benim of Abraham, by amanah. You couldn't possibly be the benim of Abraham by blood lineage line, because we mix too many times. Man, come on, man. Come on, man. Y'all stop it. People just stop it. People, we run so fast, these people running, telling these lies, these folks don't know one end from the other one. Some of these folks, if they do like that, and turn on hold their ankle, you couldn't tell which hole is which. How they gonna try to prove they know you? Just stop it. It's by amunah. That's how he always established this way. People failed him in blood lineage. They failed him when it came to bloodline. He tried to keep a blood. Listen, everybody when you born, write down your dad or your mama name. Every time they come, and listen what happened. It was a break off and go into captivity. They got into captivity, they took other wives. They made kids with them, and then they had to leave them and break off from them. Where them kids at?
Right.
I put in Azra in the 10th chapter. They turned around, they had to let all of them go. They put, let's see, pick it right quick, Azra 10:1.
Yes, sir.
These people don't know what they're doing. Man, people been so dispersed and spent around, they ain't got a lick of clue who they are. Matter of fact, we're okay. Azra, they call it Israel. I call it 10:1. Azra 9:1. Let's get that 9 first, please. Are y'all learning anything?
Yes, sir.
That's why I tell people, I don't be looking at all these folks stuff, man. I ain't against nobody. People out here teaching. It's people, plenty of people teaching the word. I just ain't looking for them. I ain't got no, listen, to whom he gave no such commandment. He gave me no, go down, find other preachers, look through Rosetta Stone, go through Facebook, try to connect on Instagram. He ain't gave me no such commandment. I'm just, man, he just gave me no such, I ain't doing it. It don't make sense. I got folks right now. Hey, why don't you preach to him? I said, why don't you preach to him? Shut your mouth. He ain't told me to go preach to nobody. Folk be on that, listen, all these corner preachers, I don't be paying these people no attention. It make no sense. He told them to go only to the lost sheep of Yahusha. You tell me they was on the corner there preaching to people. Where you get that from when they were only told to go to Yahusha? If you done it, they had a problem with Yahusha for sitting on the well talking to a woman in Shamron. Shamron was the city of Yahusha. And he sat on the well. They said, sure, that man know who this woman is. How you going to tell me that man was preaching all these folk when they had a problem? His own Talmudim had a problem with him talking to somebody in Shamron. That they call Samaria. We don't know where no Samaria, it don't exist. The name of the city is Shamron. That's how white folk beat you. And let him, hold on, do me a favor. Just throw your book down, just drop it down here. Hold on, ma'am, you lost this right here. Let me get it back to you. You said, thank you, you good Samaritan. I don't know what they're talking about. White folk, we don't know nothing about. The name of the city is Shamron. It is not Samaritan. White people done gave you something and got you run around calling folk good Samaritan. If they were good Samaritan, they'd obeyed. Yahusha got put out of Shamron. And how you gonna be better than them? Oh, lying nigga. Look at this. Listen. Chris stole your battery. Chris.
No, I thought he was.
Oh, you got it.
Now, when these things had been completed, the Shurim came to me, saying, the arm of Yasharal and the Kohanim and the Luim have not bedalled themselves from the arm of the Aras, according to their abominations, even of the Canaanites, the Kittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Ammonites, the Moabites, and the Mizrites, and the Amorites.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
For they have taken some of their banut.
They did what?
Taken some of their banut.
For what?
Themselves.
And did what?
And for their beni.
Mm-hmm.
So that the Kadash seed
Pay
have
attention.
mingled.
So that the Kadash seed, the separated seed, had done what, Lee?
Mingled themselves with the arm of the Aras.
So let me ask you a question. So once it mingled, you can go and pull it out. If you put sugar in Kool-Aid and stir it, you can go back and pull the sugar out of the Kool-Aid.
Yes, sir.
If you pour a little bit fast, ain't no sugar in it. If you pour it slow, it won't be no sugar in it. So how you going? So if you don't mingle it, how they bloodline still ain't in it? Mm. How you pull out Yehudi? Let's see what happened. Come on.
Indeed, the hands of the Shurim and the rulers have been foremost in this unfaithfulness.
They were the rush in it. They were the chief people involved. What happened?
And when I shama about this matter,
What you do?
I tore my garment.
I say, ain't no big deal, man. That would have happened, man. Nigga got to get him something.
I tore my garment and my robe,
Come on.
and pulled some of the hair from my head and my beard,
Come
and
on.
sat down appalled.
Now listen.
Then were assembled unto me every one that trembled at the Dabarim.
Let me ask y'all a question before you move. What would this symbolism to right y'all just heard, what he just did? Did y'all pay attention to what he said? Hand. What happened? And you hear what he just said? He's exactly right. That's book. So you know what them people were doing? They were looking at this. They knew exactly what it meant. That meant somebody finna die. Because you were told in your Torah that you were not supposed to mar your beard. No, you put it around the corner of your head. The fact that he done snatched his hair, pulled it, we be dead behind this one. See, that's the difference in knowing the Torah.
Yes, sir.
The fact that he let them know he more his beard. We don't pull, we don't snatch our beard. He told we don't do that. They were doing that when people died. People were afraid you pulled it out. He said the other Goyim do that. We don't do that. We don't mar our beards. And these people sat around here, and that's where they get messed up. That's why he was doing them. He looked at it, folks. We dead men. Listen what happened.
Then were assembled unto me everyone that trembled at the dabarim of the all of Yasharal on account of the unfaithfulness of those that had been carried away.
Listen.
And I sat appalled until the evening offering.
Now, hands. Who was this symbolism to? I got the bishop. Tell me who it was symbolism to, bishop. Pay attention. Tell me how it was symbolism to Yahusha on the two. That's tight. That's tight. Y'all ain't been taught that? Yes. Oh, I got some more back. Hold on if I get y'all. Let me check the hall. Y'all bishop messed up back there. Uh-oh. We got a hump in the hall. Now we're going to go with y'all to the hump in the hall. What y'all going to do? Hump in the hall. Y'all know the hall outranked the inside. Come on, hall. Who? That's what I'm talking. Tell them again. See, y'all ought to be ashamed of y'all. Say, why y'all didn't check it for him? That man said, Ms. Raheem. I don't know what he's talking about. No. Let's go. Which one of y'all going to do it? When he cried out, what happened? So the people would have been there would have been people that assembled that trembled at his word. That's all he did. Folks, listen, when he spoke on the day in the 20th chapter of the book of 19th chapter of the book of Shemut, they call Exodus, which is these are the names. If y'all remember, after he gave him the Torah, the 20th chapter, the rock started shaking. And remember, the people told him that they was afraid they were going to die. And that was all those people that would tremble at his word. So when these people came to him and they started shaking, because they looked, you know why they were shaking? Because he had just marked his beard. And the only reason you would do that if somebody was dead. And they was afraid because they looked at, we going to die behind this? That's why he said, everybody who assembled at me were people that trembled at my word. Only when Yahusha, when those people came, those were people that trembled at his word. Because them people knew we in trouble. We going to wind up dying. Okay, don't worry about it. That's why we don't get no growth, because we don't have no understanding about the Torah. See, Christianity made a fool out of it. These people had an understanding. Why weren't they trembling before that? Why they started trembling after he done plucked the hair out of his beard? When he started pulling some of his beard in his hair. Okay. See, these are odds, which means we'll look at this as being a preposition, because it gave them direction to get there. When they saw that, they knew we need to move toward this man. We need to try to look at saving our lives. Let's see what happened. And he said he stayed there till the evening sacrifice. That's how we knew how long Yahusha stayed on the tube. Mm-hmm. They had to get him down because they were getting ready to keep Pesach. And they had to offer offering. That's why he said he did it until, which means I had to get done before they could do the sacrifice. If I'm the Rosh Kohan, I'm the one got to give it. Right. So I can't afford to be here. Right. So my time was short. These were things people had to know. Mm-hmm. Okay. Listen.
But at evening, offering I come from my...
Wow. That's how we know when Yahusha had to get out there too. That's why they told him. They said, get him down. Mm-hmm. They let him know. They said, we had a Shabbatun, which is a high Shabbat coming. Mm-hmm. They said, get him down. He got to get down. That man got some work to do. Listen.
I come from my humiliation.
Yeah.
Even with my garment and my robe torn. Mm-hmm. And I fell on my knees and stretched out my hands to Yahuwah, my all. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh, my Elohim, my all, I am ashamed and embarrassed to lift up my panee to you. Mm-hmm. My all, for our iniquities have come above our heads, and our guilt has grown even to the Shamayim.
Y'all didn't pay attention. That's why they put Yahushua up high. He told you, behold my abad. In the book of Yeshayahu, he said, hold my servant. He said he shall be high. He shall be very high. Guess what? That was symbolism that let them know. That's how high your sins had gone. See, these stupid people, Christians wouldn't possibly know that. They don't know why he would put up. He just told you it went over our head. What were Yahushua, eye level? No. Why y'all think he was up so high? It was symbolism to let us know this is how far your sins have gone. Your sins are this high. See, when you don't know no Torah, this is what I'm trying to tell you. There's no way a Christian could be saved. You too ignorant. You don't know anything. The Torah identified. This is a preposition for us. This is what let us know this was him. Like you call Yuchanan said, this is he of whom I said, after me comes another that was prior to me. Why? Because he was before me. His existence was before what you knew him was in the flesh. Come on, listen. Come on.
And I said, O my all, I am ashamed and embarrassed to lift up my penee to you. My all, for our iniquities have come above our heads, and our guilt has grown even to the Shamayim.
Listen.
Since the Yamim of our Abud, to this Yom we have been in great guilt. And for our iniquities, we, our Malakim and our Kohanim, have been given into the hand of the Malakim of the Arise, to the sword, to captivity, and to plunder, and to shame of faces, as it is this Yom.
Listen.
But now for a little moment.
Now for a little moment. Tell me what you did.
Khan has been shown from Yahuwah our all.
See that we got favor from Elohim. What happened, son?
To leave us a remnant to escape, and to give us a pig in his Kodash Malkum.
You know what a pig is? That's the ooh. Let them see the ooh, Boston. This your olive beth. Y'all see this? The pig. Tent peg, add, secure, hook. That's what they did when they put the peg in his hand and in his feet. That secured your salvation. You heard folks say, you could put a nail in it, trying to prove it was that accurate. That's why you could do it. You didn't even realize what that meant. He was trying to tell you it's secure now. See, when you put a tent up, when you took the body or the skin from the bakar, that they'll call the olive, and you make a tent, you'll take a rope and you'll tie it off. And you'll take a nail and you'll knock the peg in the ground. So guess what? It can stay secure so you can go in and out of it. You don't have to worry about it falling. Why think he told you that you could destroy that mashkan? And he told you he was going to build it. How long was it going to take him? Because then it's going to be secure. That's why he wasn't impressed with that building. The other one was torn down. When Nakum Yah asked about the remnant that was left, they told him that the city would burn. It had fallen, so it wasn't secure. These people have no idea. These stupid people don't even know what the purpose of putting pegs in it. Because that's what they knew about the peg. The tent. This was hold the tent. Add. Now guess what? Now we can add. When he made them in the beginning, what did he tell them to do? Wow, add. Guess what you can't do? You can't add when you ain't secure, brother. They have no idea. These people overlook it's too much you don't know. How you going to be saved? People have no idea what was going on. These people knew this. This is why I tell you how it's important to understand the language. They understood it. See, you're seeing, but you don't see and you don't perceive. You're hearing, but you're not hearing to understand. You have to understand. That's why he took the book, and what did he do with the understanding? Which means it was what? Closed. So he opened it, that they might understand. How you understood it and how you know he said, Mashiach your eyes, that you can see. See that? Their depth of perception was off. That's what we been. All these people trying to tell this stuff, these people don't know what they're talking about. When you go through Acts of the Shalakim, these guys were moving and trying to learn exactly how we move from this point. This was a whole new writing setup for them. This was totally different. We had a wall around us. We didn't let other people in. We didn't do it. And now you're telling us to open up the gates and let other people in? Then we had to understand by Abraham. Look at Abraham being the father. First of all, it don't make sense simply because he had a father. So how was he going to be the father of us when there was a father of him? Because he established something with Abraham that had never been solidified. Abraham believed me, and I accounted that to him for something. I'm going to raise up a Tuladar that's going to believe me for what I say. Abraham and everyone that believes me on what I said, you will be a descendant of Abraham, not from his bloodline. That's why he put the other ones out. That's why I had no problem putting Yahusha in them out. I didn't do nothing. These weren't no son. They couldn't be no Benim Abraham anyway. They did, they would have believed me.
That's right.
They'd have believed me. Hello?
Yes, sir.
He said when Abraham seen me, he said Abraham seen me my day and he was glad.
Yes, sir.
What did he do to solidify he was glad? He made a muhard for him. That's the same thing Yahusha did when he had, when in the book of Abarim, they call Hebrew, in the 2nd chapter, he said when he brought in the first begotten under the rock, he said let all the Malachim, Elohim should call him. He made a feast for him.
Yes, sir.
Everybody should call him, adore him.
Yes, sir.
What Abraham did when he had that baby, he brought him now. He threw the feast.
Yes, sir.
Everybody came was to look and adore him. This the seed. This is the promise. This is what he's going to use to reconcile mankind back to himself. You people made a fool out of us. People just got up running and going everywhere. It's never going to be a bloodline. Bloodline out, they just told they did with the seed. What they did with it? So how are we going to use the blood? You weren't going to be able to do it. It's been mangled. It was mangled. It was going to have to be Amunah. That's the only thing you weren't going to be able to mangle. Isn't that right? Okay. Let me finish. I'm going to get y'all out because I left a lot of work. Can y'all give me a little bit to finish this out right quick? Because I don't want to come back to it if I could just finish it up. So we can just go ahead and see whether or not. Let's find out what's concrete and what's and what's quicksand. Going back, let's get knocking y'all. Let me get them out of the way. Let's walk back through right quick and get it done. I just want to make sure we get through this, we be done. I don't want to keep leaving stuff y'all don't get all of it. I want you to get understand. Now you go on back to YouTube and go look through them other preachers, see what they tell you. Isn't that right? Y'all go ahead and follow the other people. I ain't the only one. I ain't saying that because I'm the only one. I don't believe that. I just know one thing. I ain't no fool. I ain't no fool. The man ain't been there for 40 days after he got up. Most of your teaching he went back through, he was going back through the Torah with you.
That's right. That's true.
He left them in a situation where they could grow. Yeah. Hello? He left them where they can grow.
That's right.
And that's what they were doing. They were growing. That's what established it for us.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. This is the first chapter, book of Nahum, y'all. Where we left off? 6, 5. 1 and 5. Listen.
And I said, I beseech you, O Yahuwah, the all of Shamayim, the great and awesome, all who keeps the berith of Rakam for them that ahab him.
And we talked about to Abraham and to his seed was that's where the berith was made.
Yes, sir.
So now, how in the world the rest of the people going? How were he talking about everybody else? At this point, he was talking about the seed of Abraham from the flesh.
That's
who
right.
He done established the Yahudim.
That's right.
He was not talking about no Amunah. Because he would have told you they would mix no seed. That wouldn't make sense. I don't know what these folks think. I know. Go ahead. Listen.
And for them that keep his Amar.
Wow. Now you start to include. Listen.
Let your ear now be attentive and your own open to Shama, to the Palal of your Abad, which I am Palal before you this Yum.
Your servant. Listen.
Yum and Layla.
Day and night.
For the Bani of Yasharal, your Abadim, confessing their Kataim of the Bani of Yasharal, which we have Kata against you. I and my Abba Beth have Kata.
Me and my father Beth. What about the Hittites and the Jebusites and the Amorites? Why would he be offering up prayer for them?
That's right.
When Abraham went into the city of the Abimelech, what did he say when he saw them people? I see Ryan, but let me get Ryan. What did it say, Ryan? Surely. He said, surely I didn't think y'all believed in him. That's how Abraham looked at it just like we did. Why would I think I just pop up in the city? Man, these some good, clean, saved folks, him. That man said, I ain't thought nothing about y'all. Matter of fact, he said, I wouldn't even tell you the whole truth. Who that is? My sister. Why would Abraham charge for lying? He said, oh, she's my sister. I just didn't tell you that. He said, I should have thought I thought Elohim went in their place, not to fear Elohim.
Right.
Not with you people. If Abraham thought like that, and we the see them, why would I be assuming all these other folk right?
Right.
Do y'all understand how these people, that was our process. Why would I don't tell you the truth? You don't believe nothing. Okay. That's what we have. This is why that man was sad and why his heart was broken, his law broke. He said, Kyle, think about my people. He wasn't thinking about nobody else. I don't know where these people get this stuff from. These people told us a lot of lies. These people don't want no truth. What I had y'all holding over there? The book of, what I had y'all holding? Oh, Acts 6. We did 6 and 1. Ozra, let's finish Ozra right quick. Ozra 10 chapter, 10 and 1. Let me just try to get y'all finished up, if y'all would, please.
Yes, sir.
I just want y'all to look, just consider, that's all I want y'all to do, just consider some stuff. This is 10 and 1, listen.
Now, when Ozra was Palau, and when he was making his confession, weeping and casting himself before the bed of Elohim.
And you know why Elohim accept one thing he do, a lot of y'all don't do? Even Yahusha came along and tried to tell you about yourself. You didn't get it. Y'all hear when Ozra was confessing, what was he doing? Weeping. And he was confessing. You know, when Yahusha came down, he told you about in the book of Matthew, the 11th chapter, he said, and whom shall I liken you to? He said, I liken you unto children sitting in the marketplace. He said, which they done sat down and they done piped to you, and what you didn't do? Wow. He said, we done lamented to you. He said, you ain't even cry. Didn't even bother you. See, he sat down. This thing broke his heart. That's what we told you about. Where real repentance come from, you become remorseful. The problem why we've never gotten the Ruach HaKodesh and never gotten the BDP, you're not remorseful for your deeds. You just want to get out and not be convicted for it. You don't have no repentance where you really look at, I won't commit the act again. You go back to committing the act because you're not sorry. See, this is the difference with him. When he was confessing, he was weeping. Listen.
Weeping and casting himself before the bed of Elohim, a very large assembly, Anashim, Nashim, and Benim, gathered to him from Yasharal, for the arm wept with a great weeping.
And guess what happened? Why you think they were weeping with a great weeping? Listen.
And Shechaniah, the ben of Yechiel, one of the Beni of Olam, answered and said to Azra, we have been unfaithful to our all and have married foreign Nashim from the arm of the Arat. Yet now there is your call for Yasharal concerning this.
See that? He said there's an expected wait for their whole hope for him. Listen.
So now let us make a berit with our all to put away all the Nashim and those who born from them, according to the counsel of Ma'adan and of those who tremble at the Omar of our all.
They got rid of them kids. They got rid of their wives. They put them away, they got rid of them. Because they looked at, they wanted a part of Berit. The Berit we had was not to marry them, not to make kids with them, and we put them away. See, once we had mingled the seed, it wasn't worth keeping. Might as well go ahead and get rid of it. Go ahead and get rid. We disband from them. Our Berit was with Elohim. Elohim didn't condemn us for it. We realized this was our mistake, this was our mess, and we had to separate from it. We couldn't fix it by saying, well, maybe if we just stay together and you know, whether good or bad and whether happy or sad. They were so in love. See, now, that ain't your name on the board. Chris' name on the board. Come on, Chris, put your name on the board. Get your name. There's a pen up there. Hold on. There, he got him. Candace, ain't nobody getting away. That's what I'm talking about. So you look, Chris, now make sure you get your name up there too. So you got 2 Al Green on yourself. But you see what I'm saying? This is the thing people have to consider how they looked at it. He let them know you can't keep wrong and make it right. That's right. People keep thinking you can keep going wrong and it's going to be right. They looked at, no, we got to separate from this. This is where we at. We had to separate. They said we had to put away the wives and we had to put away the kids. Simply because we created this whole thing through our kata'im, through our sins. And this is something that come up and get us because we'll try to hold on to our wrong. We're just going to work to try to make it right. He said, you can't make it right. It's too wrong. Because I told you not to do it. This is what they recognize. This became, listen, whatever written for time, what was it written for? That we through what? Going through without quitting, saying, well, I'm going to quit. They could say, well, you know what? I don't want Elohim if I got to put away, if I got to stop it. Well, listen, if you look at where your issues come in from, it come from things you've done. It ain't because of something he did. He established before. You came after and you made your mistake. You can't put it on him. He got a bad shake on every deal. Every day he got a bad shake. I'll get back ahead. The 4th chapter right quick in the book of Oriel. 4 and 16, where they left out 17, 18. Where y'all left out about 4 and 18? 18, let's see. 4 and 18, Oriel. So I'll get back over here and try to jump back across right quick. Try to get y'all some situations so you kind of see how these people operate. Listen. Boy, something smelling good, too.
The Ruach
Let it
of,
be mine. The Ruach
of Yahuwah is upon me.
like sweet smelling savor. Come on, let's get the
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm the only one smelling.
No, sir.
Let that macaroni. Some collard. Hold on, I smell some pot liquor. I can make some pot liquor with that. Come on now. And them greens in there. Come on.
The Ruach of Yahuwah is upon me
Tell them what, son.
in order to Mashiach me
In order to Mashiach. Listen what happened.
to bring tube news to the humble.
Pay attention to it. To bring tube news to the who?
To the humble.
To the humble. The people who have made themselves of less importance.
Yes,
Let me
sir.
something. How important did they make themselves if they put away their wife? Think of this. This your wife and your kids, and you willing to put them away because of the word. Wouldn't they make you humble? That you don't see yourself as important?
Yes, sir.
Because they just made a berif saying, we will put away these wives and put away these kids and establish our berif with you, that the berif be established with you. Come on, listen.
He has shalak me to care for the brokenhearted.
Hold on, I'm trying to remember. What was Osborne's problem now when he was down on his knees? He was weeping because his heart was broken.
Yes, sir.
What about Nakum Yah? When he found out about the exile of his people.
Yes, sir.
So how you going to put him? He was sent to the Greeks and sent to the Americans and sent these people. He was only sent to his people. This is what they processed.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
He has sent me, he has shalak me to care for the brokenhearted, to proclaim freedom for the exiles.
Wow. Wow. This got to be the Greeks and everybody else and the Romans. Come on.
And for the blind, an opening release.
Let me see. The man that was blind that he healed. What nationality was he?
Yehudi.
He had a woman from Canaan who asked him for something. He said, I'm only sent to the lost sheep of Yahusha.
Yes, sir.
So you see when they process why they wouldn't go into the other green, because that's not what we did. The Torah did not permit for us to do that. The Torah was direct. Instruction was go to your arm. The only way other people could get it, he knew he had to put a and a veil of blindness. So with a blindness, you ain't gonna believe it. You ain't gonna believe it. With a blindness, wave your hand. I'm gonna give you all the baraka and everything on you, Boston. Ain't it, Boston?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, goodness. I gave it to the wrong person. That's how everybody else got in, because he made blindness come on us. See, we learned that from Yasakal. Remember, Yaakov was a smooth man. Asu was a hairy man. So the book told you that it came in the day that his eyes were dim. So the baraka, the gift, the benefit, fell on another son. Because how you think it happened to them? We had to learn that. That's why it was written the 4th time for our learning. That he had to blind us so that we would go in error so he could put it on someone else. That's how the doors had opened for other Goyim to come in. But we didn't understand it at the first. Because this was a story about Yasakal and his 2 sons who was of the same lineage. But we understood that through blindness that it fell on somebody else. So now he's come back to reconcile us, to let us know, guess what? Now I'm opening your eyes. Well, guess what happened that mean? Mean the Gentile time up. So when our eye open up, he said, mean I done turned away. The Gentile time is limited. He's only going to take so many of us. He said, tell them their time up. Your time up, because now we get understanding. See, the people came up, they didn't get it. And it was meant for them not to get it. Because he told you, he put a blindness on Yasharal. So they're blinded that he left following, open up the gateway so other people can get in. So now he's at a point where, you know what? I'm through reconciling. Because at the end, he's got to turn back to Yasharal and Yehuda. So when he started to turn back to us, that's when everybody know, y'all done. He ain't taking no more. Door closed. Door closed. Finish this up right quick. Let's see where they go.
Proclaim freedom for the exiles and for the blind an opening release, to send the oppressed away free, to proclaim a Shana of favor for Yahuwah.
See that? It's the year for favor for him. Come on.
And it came to pass, when he rolled up the scroll, returned it to the attendant, and sat, and the of all who were in the Shanagan were focused on him.
Mm-hmm.
He began saying to them, this Yom, the Sefer, is fulfilled in your hearing.
Now, hands. What just happened? When he just made that statement, what happened? Hands. Good. Oh, we got to know. In the hall? Your hand up hall. Uh-oh. Come on so we can hear it. What you going to say? That's right. Did not. In hearing, they hear and they didn't understand. And seeing, they saw and they did not perceive. Let's see. Come on, finish reading.
He began saying to them, this Yom, the Kitab is fulfilled in your hearing.
Come on.
All of them commended him and were amazed by the Dabarim of Khan that were coming from his pa.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, is he not Yosef ben?
Mm-hmm. Come on.
He said to them, look, you say this Mashali to me. Healer, heal yourself. Whatever we have Shama you have done at Kafar Nakum, do also here in your native town.
Mm-hmm. So that whatever you did over in, they call Capernaum. He said, do it him. They telling him to do it him. Yeah, they believe, don't they? Whatever you did over there, do it him. Listen.
And he said, Aman, I say unto you, a Nabi is not welcome in his native land.
Wow. So these people here believed in him? He openly understand. He just told them that he not without honor except his own town where he was brought up. He didn't get no honor there, and they just heard it and saw him do it. Did they not?
Yep.
Which means they saw.
They didn't understand
and didn't understand.
perceive.
They didn't have no perception.
Yep.
And they heard what he just read
and didn't
they
understand.
Had no understand. Let's see. Keep going.
But I tell you, in Amat, there were many widows in Yasharal in the Yamim of Eliyahu.
Who they'll call Elijah. Come on.
When the Shamayim was restrained for 3 Shana and 6 Yared.
3 years and 6 months, it was no rain.
And there was a great famine over all the Arats.
Listen what happened now.
But
The whole
Eliyahu,
Arats now, pay attention, whole Arats. There was a famine. Listen what happened.
but Eliyahu was not shalak to any of them, except to
The widow.
Tarsaphat, which is Tisdan, to the widow Ashah.
Y'all hear that? Whole world starving, famine over the whole world. And look at him, he was a sent one, they call apostle. How many folks he went preaching, teaching to, helping, and feeding?
One.
One. Where did niggas get there from that they thought the Charlotte King was supposed to go all over the world and start teaching to everybody? Keep going.
There were many lepers in Yasharal in the time of Al-Yasha, the
right.
Nabi.
All Yasha, his assistant. They were lepers. Tell them what happened, son.
But not one of them was purified, except for Naaman the Arami.
Y'all hear that? He's the only one of them that were purified out of the lepers. He found him, and that's the only one that he purified of them. Naaman, he came in there, and he told him what to do, and he wasn't going to do it. His Abba had to stop him. He told that man to go and wash himself in the Jordan. And he said, all this water around him, and I'm supposed to go and wash in Jordan? He was like, that was stupid. He wasn't doing it. He was going another place. His Abba stopped him and told him. Mm-hmm. Told him, you need to do what he told you to do. And when he did it, he was cleansed.
Mm-hmm.
Now, his servant went out behind him, and he told him he was told not to take nothing from him. They went and took something from him, and it wound up happening to them. Come on, just finish up. That's a whole nother bed. We'll talk on another one. Come on.
When everyone who was in the Beth of Sonagan Shama these Dabarim, they were filled with anger.
They started. What you said? What's your answer again? They were filled with the Ruach HaKodesh. The Holy Ghost fell on all them that heard the word. Come on.
They were filled with anger.
Mm-hmm.
They come up and pushed him outside the city.
And that should have been it.
And they brought him to the brow of the Har upon which their city was built.
They brought him to the cliff.
In order to throw him down.
I don't know what these people thinking. You think this the people you want to talk to and tell them about not circumcising folks? This man just read direct scroll to these people. And y'all see where this stuff just went to? He just came and his mama said, a famine hit the whole world. Yeah, all y'all who wasn't sent but to one person, and they were pissed. Okay. That's why I try to tell the people, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. In their mind, they feel good about it. You don't know what you're doing. Sit down. You need a teacher. Huh? You need a teacher. Because a lot of folk don't know. When you read Acts of the Charlotte King, you got to take your time. Because you'll be moving through something. You really don't know what you're doing. Because you'll start putting something, trying to think he proclaimed something he couldn't have told them.
That's right.
How far you going to get in conversation with people like this? I'm talking about this. Come on, this one thing I do to you. Nobody. But I push him to get him out the door and push him all the way to a cliff. My plan is to throw you off of it. He ain't hit me. He ain't threatened me. He let the wrong thing come out of his mouth. That's how serious they are about the word. Do you think he could have got out a whole lot of teaching about not circumcising? Because they don't read, they don't know. That's why you need a teacher.
Yes, sir.
That's why I told you, he said, I'm going to give you a rod out of my own law. I'm going to feed you with knowledge and understanding. Those people hadn't grown to that. This man, I came to see, everything he can't do, he would disrespect. Listen, they didn't do nothing right in that man's sight. Even my wife, if your husband tell you ain't doing nothing right, you gonna get frustrated. They frustrated. We've been doing this all the time. You come on, everything wrong? We gotta stop everything? They weren't there. Same thing they take with y'all. When you first come, same thing hit you. You had to readjust. All the stuff you got to do, everybody just don't jump into doing. There's a lot of things people have to contemplate. They've been doing this stuff a lifetime. Their fathers did it. This one just saw that their fathers did it. Every time he had to come and get them, he had to let them know, this is the same thing your fathers did. You're the same people. I appreciate you who are being patient with them.
Yes, sir.
Well, how would I know? I want to finish up. I don't want to overwear you, but it had to be a reason we changed direction to go the way we went, because I really want y'all to consider, take your time. It's really a lot more involved when you're dealing with the word than what people are thinking. They work against each other. He's bringing Khan, and these people been used to the Torah, and they joined the strike. That's why they were fighting him, because the man came to bring shalom, and where these people at, that ain't working. I'm not against shalom. I'm against shalom for doing what I've been doing. And he had to come along and do a lot of corrective measures with these people. You just can't move the way you thinking. They trying to try to use when Shaul went and he offered a sacrifice with these people. What were they teaching? What were Yahusha? In Ephesians 5:1, he told you that follow Elohim as dear children and walk in Ahab, as the Mashiach had loved us and had given himself for a, what was it? An offering and a what? How did they know about offering and sacrifices? From Torah. So early in their writings, where you think they knew? You still trying to find out where things sat. That he all told us about that he was going to cause the oblation and sacrifice to see. You just can't jump up and tell these people they ain't offering up no sacrifice. They've been doing this stuff for how long? Abraham went up to offer a sacrifice. And you going to pop up on the scene talking about stop sacrificing? Man, stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it. Just stop it. I don't know why people run so fast to try to create their own way. All this was a time. You just don't jump up and stop everything you've known for years. This is all you rehearsed. This is all you've been told. This is all you know. But he kept trying to allow us to know, listen, come unto me, all that burden and heavy laden. What am I going to do? Take my yoke and do what? For see, he told, for my yoke is easy and my burden's light. It was a weight on them people. Man, you got to go through and search through all the shit to find one with no defect. No defects. Nothing wrong with it. How much? What it did? Quick look. You got 100, 200 sheep. You got to walk through and look. I got to check the leg, make sure that thing ain't doing it. Oh, something wrong with that leg. I can't use it. You know how much work had to be done? That was a burden on these people. Yeah. On Shabbat, you had to offer double. Then what people don't realize, you had the morning sacrifice. Yeah. Then you had the evening sacrifice. You weren't sacrificing when you were doing this more than one time. Why did they think they put Yahusha up on the 2 early in the morning? Why you think they took him down in the evening, by the time of the evening sacrifice? Because you had to offer double, and you had to offer morning and afternoon. That was a burden. He's trying to convince people to stop doing what they're doing. I did it. I just don't see it that way. And they couldn't see it that way. Blindness on their eyes. You've been doing this. How many of y'all, as soon as you heard something, you stopped doing it? Fornicate. As soon as you heard fornicate wrong, I just cut it off. As soon as you heard smoke, how many of y'all used to smoke? How many, as soon as you heard smoking wrong, you stop smoking? You said, that's it right there. All I had to do here one time. You struggled, kept playing how to get out because you've been doing it so long. How many of y'all used to drink? How many, as soon as y'all heard drinking wrong, you stopped. You put it out. You said, that's it for me. No, you winging to get out because this been a practice. You've been practicing this. Please, y'all, just slow down. I ain't the only one. If I ain't somebody who give you a comic book lesson, I'll follow the book. This is what I believe, okay? I believe the scroll for everything you say. I ain't stupid. You can't be stupid, folks. These folks run and their rationale don't make no sense. What I'm telling you, it makes sense. They finna kill them. Where was the man in the church teaching this? He was in the synagogue teaching this stuff. And they pushed him out to push him out to kill him. Are these the people you want to tell we done with circumcision? If you be circumcised, you have fallen from con. You want to pull that? Don't be stupid. Take your time. Appreciate y'all.